Indeed, a matter of great honor and pride to be present in front of the Honorable Court of Sessions, Panaji, Goa. The Council would like to introduce himself as Sayed Dishan, and by the power provided by the Section 225 of the CRPC, seeks permission to proceed as the prosecution on behalf of State of Goa in the present case of State of Goa versus retired Major J.S. Rana, along with my co-counsels Sanskriti Singh, Ritika Thakur and Abhishek Chandra. If the Lordships may permit, the Council would like to move with the opening statement. Much obliged, Lordship. Lordships, today we are going to witness an unfolding of a story of deceit, a story of broken trust, a story of betrayal. Imagine a man from the ranks of the army, a place regarded to be the epitome of loyalty, trust and honor. A man from ranks of such greatness stoops down to a level where he doesn't even think twice to betray his friends and colleagues. Such are the circumstances of the present case, Your Lordship. The night of December 31st was very crucial for business at Montecito Hotel, one of the finest in the state of Goa, Your Lordship. Maintaining their supremacy in the luxury business, this year the hotel was organizing a high-stake invitational-only poker game with a cash buy-in of Rs 50 lakhs. Ms. Sonali Gujral, the CEO and the president of the hotel, entrusted the accused, Major Rana, with the complete responsibility of organizing that event smoothly. In due course, to the testimonies of Ms. Gujral herself, the Council would make the court aware of the degree of control that the accused had on the whole of the event, right from the final approval on the guest list till the access to the vault, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, the formalities were completed by 8 o'clock and things were running smoothly. And when a break-in was reported and it was found that 4 men entered the high-tech vault and was successful in robbing it of the money. However, in the midst of the escape, the alarm was triggered, which led to the entrapment of 2 of the dacoits at the deck of the ship. At this moment, the accused fired a shot from his Smith & Wesson revolver, which he is known to carry, resulting in the immediate death of one of the dacoits, Your Lordship. The cumulative testimony of the expert witnesses will prove beyond reasonable doubt that the bullet was indeed fired from the gun as held by Major Rana, and he was the only person in the proximity of the deceased capable of taking that shot, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, however, the efforts of Michael Barbosa led to the successful capture of one of the dacoits, Bhaskar Sanal. His guilty conscience led him to confess his crime in front of the learned magistrate, Your Lordship, and he has agreed to be a witness in the present case, Your Lordship. It was his statement which unfolded the master plan involving the accused as one of the main conspirators in the crime of dacoity which took place. The details of the extent of his involvement will be brought in front of the court through his direct testimony, Your Lordship. If Your Lordships may refer to the paper book submitted, page number 36, in the case of E.G. Balse versus State of Bombay, the Supreme Court held that while considering the testimony of an accomplice, the accomplice must pass 2 tests. First, he must show that he is a reliable witness, and second, he must receive sufficient corroboration, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, if you refer to the page 3 of the memorial submitted, in the case of Bangaru Lakshman versus State, which is a very recent case of 2012, the Supreme Court held an accomplice is a reliable witness like any other regular witness as he disposes in court after taking oath, and there is no prohibition to act upon his deposition without corroboration, Your Lordship. The Council in the examination will prove that the accomplice received sufficient corroboration, Your Lordship. Moving on, Your Lordships, In the present case, the accused is charged in the 302 of the Indian Penal Code for murder and 396 for dacoity with murder as cognized by the magistrate, and it is exclusively triable in this Court of Sessions by the power provided under section 177 of the CRPC, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, the Council would like to bring the fact and notice that all the other individuals involved in committing the dacoity have been charge sheeted separately. In order to ensure a just and fair trial, the Council pleads the Court to club the charge sheets and continue the proceedings against all of the accused through a single trial by the power provided to the Court by section 223 of the CRPC, Your Lordship. To conclude, Your Lordship, the Council would like to state that the accused has used a prohibited arm for the commission of the act, and it is so falls under section 27 of the Arms Act. However, no such charge has been cognized by the magistrate to the court. The Council thus forwards an application in the page number 53 of the written submission, requesting the court, if I may get 10 more seconds, Your Lordship, much obliged, Your Lordship, forwards an application requesting the court to analyze the merits of this charge and then add the same to the powers provided under section 216 of the CRPC, Your Lordship. Thank you, Lord.
I counsel Speaker 1 of Team 10 humbly seek permission to address this bench as Your Lordship on behalf of the defense. Your Lordship, before I begin with my opening statements, I would like to refute the last few points that the counsel for the prosecution stated. I believe that the counsel for the prosecution has not received a copy of the interim orders and which were passed by this very honorable court, Your Lordship. If I may read who were present, this interim order is Annexure 10, as you may see, Your Lordship. In the Court of Sessions, Judge Panaji, State of Goa versus Major Retired J.S. Rana, present Public Prosecutor for the State, Major Retired J.S. Rana, along with counsel. Arguments heard from a perusal of the report under section 173 of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 and accompanying documents a prima facie case under sections 396 and 302 of the Indian Penal Code is disclosed against the accused. Let the accused be served with the charge sheet accordingly. Nowhere was it said that the accused would be charged with section 25 and 27, and if there is an alteration to the charges, the defense would need more time to present arguments in such a case. Further, Your Lordships, if the prosecutor, yes, by the court, this honorable court.
So, whether the court is required to say that the state says that the charge is under 302, so this court is bound to take charge under 302?
No, Your Lordship.
There is a question of that additional charges, these charges,
Your Lordship, I am not saying that this court does not have the power of jurisdiction. I am saying if the court does so, we will require additional time to incorporate these charges. Right.
If the charges are brought out from the facts, just go to right?
Much obliged, Your Lordship. And I will refute and defend my client on these charges. However, Your Lordship, the counsel at this point cannot give an application for joint trial. After interim orders have been passed, the counsel for the prosecution cannot give an application for joint trial of the accused. And if he does so, the application on behalf of whom he is giving the application, that person cannot be his very own witness. Here the prosecution has stated that Mr. Bhaskar Sanyal has turned state witness and he is giving evidence for the prosecution. However, they would like him to be tried in the very same case. This is against the principles of natural justice, Your Lordship, and that is all I contend to refute these charges. Now, Your Lordship, if I may continue with my opening statements. Much obliged. The defense approaches this honorable bench in the matter of State of Goa versus Major Retired J.S. Rana under section 193 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, 1973. It is humbly submitted at the outset that no part of the final report made by the investigating officer is binding on the defense, as was held in Tahsildar Singh and another versus State of UP, AIR 1959 SC 1052, as was attached to the last page of the compendium. Yes, now the counsel seeks permission to recite the facts of the case. May I recite?
Facts are discernible from the record. Details furnished to us and you. We know the facts.
Yes, Your Lordship. However, those are facts in dispute, and the counsel would, and that is the prosecution version. Therefore, the defense would also like to present these facts. Your Lordship, 31st December, New Year's Eve in Goa is a much celebrated occasion. And one such casino that celebrates this occasion was the Montecito Casino that stands tall aboard the Aurora ship, which is in the Mandovi River. In order to celebrate this New Year's Eve, the casino was hosting a high-stakes poker tournament in its exclusive high-stakes floor Octavius. Your Lordship, this high-stakes poker tournament was invitational and came with a buy-in of 50 lakhs. The winner would walk away with a prize money of 18 crores, with the casino taking a 10% cut. Now, by 8 p.m. that very evening, the buy-in formalities were complete and the money was moved to the Octavius vault. At post 11 p.m., the Octavius vault was breached by 4 men in black suits. They entered this vault, put the money into the bags and ran towards the deck. They threw the bags overboard and 2 of them started rappelling down from the side of the ship. While 2 of them were grappling, the Chief Security Officer, Michael Barbosa, apprehended them. Further details in exact will be given by the witness. After this incident, the police reached the spot at 12:15 a.m. and registered an FIR under section 395 of the Indian Penal Code 1860 and section 25 and 27 of the Arms Act. Post investigation and submission, Your Lordship, may I take a few minutes to complete my arguments? The post-submission of the final report, the Learned Magistrate found that the case was triable exclusively by the Court of Session. In the instant matter, in order to sustain a charge under section 396 of the Indian Penal Code, the prosecution must establish that the accused was part of the dacoits, as you will see by the written submissions of the defense. As will be noticed by the court from the statements of the witnesses, there is no evidence to prove that Major Retired Rana, who is the accused in the present case, acted in furtherance of a common intention. As far as a charge under section 302 goes, the prosecution must establish actus reus and mens rea in order to secure a conviction under section 302. The actus reus cannot indicate the mens rea. The prosecution has failed to establish charges with, Your Lordship, this is the last charge, may I explain it? I humbly request that I explain the last one. Your Lordship, to prove 396, you must prove that there was a prior conspiracy and the people acted in furtherance of a common intention. 34 is furtherance of a common intention. Yes, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, I have it on good authority that... Yes. Your Lordship, if you open the submissions for the defense memorial, you will see the judgment of Madan Kandi, where the plea of conviction under 396 was raised, and it has explained what constitutes an offence under 396, where they also explained conspiracy, which is 120B, and 34, furtherance of common intention. Your Lordship. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why you want to provide a judgment? Why you want a precedent? In our state of research, we talk about the law. The question of precedents, you come only when you figure out the law. When there is some conclusion or guarantee, and then you take out the precedents. Otherwise, there is no question of making precedents, checking on the law.
Your Lord.
Equity has been defined in the IPS. You go by the definition. If you find that there is some conclusion or guarantee, I don't give you cite some cases over here.
Your Lordship.
But here, you are doing the other way reverse. You are citing a case, you have taken up a case, and you are on the basis of that case, you want to say that the law should be like this.
Your Lordship, I completely agree. But if you go by the vast and the general interpretation of Section 396, murder is usually committed outside the dacoits. Here, the prosecution alleges that the victim was inside the dacoits. The counsel would now just say one statement and close the argument. The prosecution has failed to establish the vital link evidence which places the accused on the scene of the crime with the death that occurred on the Montecito on the night of the 31st, 2012, and thus it remains a mere death that occurred on the Montecito on the night of the 31st, 2012. Much obliged.
Good morning, Your Lordships. Your Lordships, as said by the Honourable Counsel for the defence regarding the essentials of dacoity, Section 391 will mention the essentials of dacoity as 5 or more persons conjointly committing dacoity, and a murder under 396, a murder is committed in furtherance of the dacoity. No other charge is required to establish that a dacoity requires 5 or more persons, and a charge should be filed on both 34 and 396. 396 is sufficient by itself. Your Lordship, now the counsel for the prosecution would seek to move forward with the chief examination of the prosecution witnesses. May I have your permission? Much obliged, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, the counsel seeks to call its first witness on the witness box, Mr. Bhaskar Sanyal. Mr. Sanyal, you accept that you were a part of the scheme of dacoity that took place on board the Aurora?
I was. Okay. Objection, leading question.
Your Lordship, this has been specified by the facts itself that Mr. Bhaskar was a part of the dacoity, so this cannot be considered a leading question.
Your Lordship, what are the facts? Whatever is a fact must be stated by the witness.
Bhaskar Sanyal is a witness, Mr. Counsel, in this case, and Bhaskar Sanyal has stated this.
What is the leading question?
A leading question.
Your Lordship, a leading question is a suggestive question which is putting words into the mouth.
Putting the answer in the mouth of the
Exactly.
You are putting the answer in the mouth of the
But Your Lordship, if I ask,
that the equity has committed, you are part of that. You evade the question.
indeed, Your Lordship, my apologies. Mr. Bhaskar Sanyal, can you please introduce yourself to the court?
I've already been working in Montecito, and I was fired 3 months back. Now I'm jobless, and I was a part of the plan 2 months back when I was approached by Major Rana, and along with Major Rana, he also approached Bridge Gopal, and we were ready since we urgently required money.
Okay. So you are saying that Major Rana was a part of your plan. This point to be noted, Your Lordship, that Bhaskar Sanyal has said that Major Rana was a part of their plan. Let's come to the incident on the Aurora. Can you describe how you carried out the heist?
The heist was actually pre-planned before, and since I already talked that the operation was already discussed with us 2 months before, and we entered the casino as guests, and we were already told that entering casino was in fact, you wouldn't face any kind of problem, you can enter freely.
Why was that? How was that possible?
Major Rana actually assisted us from inside, and we were included in the list of guests. That's it.
Your Lordship, another point to be noted that Major Rana helped them enter the casino as guests. They gained free entry into the casino because of Major Rana. Mr. Sanya, my next question to you would be, can you give us the details of your robbery or your heist? What happened after you took the money?
After we took the money, the alarm triggered. We don't have any idea how it got triggered. We were about to make an exit, and as soon as we were to make an exit, there was an event happened, and we were actually we were in panic. Someone was approaching, and I got hold of a person, and I was expecting guests to this casino, so as to grab a hostage. And Michael, Mr. Babusa, who is one of my friends who came to see.
Then what happened?
And I got shot, injured. And meanwhile, Mr. Major Rana, he also appeared in the scene and he got killed in the Babusa.
Your Lordship, make this point again be noted that Mr. Bhaskar Sanyal saw Major Rana kill Babaji, who was an accomplice in their crime. But why do you think he would have killed Babaji?
He would have killed Babaji. I think that Babaji was the person who exposed him, and if we wouldn't have killed him, Major Rana would be the person who would be in Babaji.
Indeed, Your Lordship. My apologies. Indeed, Your Lordship. One last question, Mr. Sanyal. Can you tell us, were you or any of your friends having any firearms, any guns? No. Your Lordship, another point to be noted, they did not have any firearms. Thank you, Mr. Sanyal. That's all. The Council seeks permission to call her next witness, Ms. Shonali Gujral, on to the witness box.
Objection, Your Lordship. As per Section 127 of the Indian Evidence Act, the procedure for examining witnesses is chief examination, cross-examination, and re-examination. The counsel for the defense humbly seeks an opportunity to cross-examine the previous witness.
Indeed, Your Lordship.
Counsel for the defense seeks permission of this honourable bench to address it at my lords or your lordships. Much obliged, my lords. With the due permission of this honourable bench, counsel would like to proceed with the cross-examination of the prosecution witness. Much obliged, my lords. Could you please state your name for the record?
Bhaskar Sanya,
All right. What would be your age?
27.
All right. And what is your educational qualifications?
I studied till 10th,
Okay. And when did you join the Montecito?
1 year ago.
1 year ago. 1 year ago before the firing, or 1 year ago from this date? Could you please be precise?
This day.
My lords, please take into account that Montecito started on 31st December 2012. Alright. What was the job profile in the Montecito?
I was concerned with the working of, I had analyzed the goals and
Analysis of the goals. That's what you did. Alright. Could you tell us the working of the goals? How do these goals operate?
I had a separate remote control and
You had a remote control.
I mean not under my supervision, it was under supervision of Major Rana. I just assisted him.
Alright. So were you friendly with the people over there? Like, did you know them? Did you know the people? Did they know you, the people over there?
I haven't, it was just 1 year ago, I was getting friendly, but it's not that I knew anyone.
You have stated in your examination in chief that you were fired 3 months before the event. Isn't that true?
Yes.
You have also stated in your examination in chief that a conspiracy came into existence 2 months ago before the incident. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Now, I put this question towards you. That you falsely implicated this accused in this case because you were fired from your job. Is that true?
That's absolutely not true. I was fired.
That's it. That's it. So you entered into this conspiracy after you were fired.
I entered into the conspiracy just because I needed money. I had certain
You
of
entered
my
this conspiracy after you were fired. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Alright. Now could you please state before this court, how did this conspiracy start? How did it first start?
The conspiracy, actually first Major Rana approached me.
So Major Rana approached you after you were fired. Alright. Could you please tell the court why were you fired?
But he didn't give me any reason. I was fired without any reason.
Alright.
And what happened on the night of 31st? How did you come to the casino?
We were dressed as the guests, and
You were
we
dressed
entered.
as the guests.
Yes.
What were you wearing?
A black suit with
Alright.
a bow tie.
Okay, that's it. And how did you enter? How did you come to the casino? How did you travel to the casino?
We entered the casino in a disguise. I had a French
How
girl.
did you travel? Did you come walking? Did you come by car? How did you come to the casino?
As how the guests would go probably.
Okay. Okay. My lords, please take this into account. This alleged dacoit does not know how he entered the casino. Alright. And what happened after that?
We entered the casino. We
You entered the casino. And then what?
post 10:30. We
Post 10:30. So what time did you enter?
10:30 and 10:30 we entered. Post 10:30 we planned to carry on our job.
So you went inside and you started planning?
Yes.
So you went inside the casino and you decided to rob this casino?
That's not the case.
Okay. So could you please tell the court what is the case? And please don't laugh, it's a serious matter. Yes.
Post 10:30 we entered the casino, and Major Rana has told that since 11:30 wouldn't be the appropriate
So, one
time.
second, let me stop you, I'm sorry. So you entered after 10:30 and then you had discussions with Major Rana after entering the casino.
We were informed. We were
You were
discussing
informed by
at that
whom?
moment.
With whom were you? By whom were you informed?
There was some resource person that I don't actually have an idea
Alright.
about.
And then, what happened after that?
We entered the casino, and we just wanted to start the work post 10:30.
Okay.
Since 11:30 wasn't the appropriate time, and then we just planned that 10:30 we will post 10:30 we'll hit the vault,
Alright,
and
alright,
we'll
alright,
go on with the.
Okay.
Is this the statement that you have made before the learned magistrate?
Yes.
Is this? Are you sure about this? Alright.
An X-ray,
Alright. In your statement, you have mentioned that the person who was with you, who entered the casino with you, he could crack any safe, absolutely any safe. Alright. So was it true in this case also? Did he crack the Montecito safe?
We took Babaji with us as a kind of plan B. Major Rana was already there.
Okay.
If Major Rana wouldn't be, if in case he wasn't able to open the safe, Rich Gopal was an option with us, and we definitely were sure that he would open it.
What happened after that? What happened after you planned to hit the vault at 10:30? After that, could you please narrate the incident?
We took the money.
You took the money. So how did the vault open? You broke the vault. Alright. My lords, please take this into account.
We
The vault was
haven't
manually broken.
operated the vault. We hit the vault and we took the money. That's it.
Alright. My lords, please take this into account. The vault was manually broken and the money was taken. Alright. How did you take this money?
We took the money and we stuck it into the.
There are some objection. The council is merely assuming things. Basu Sana denied having broken the vault. The council is assuming it.
Alright. My lords, I apologize. Alright. Could you please tell the court, how did you take this money outside?
We tried to assist Major Rana. He was.
My question is, how did you take that money outside?
We actually had a kind of remote.
Remote. With the remote, you took the money outside. You carried the money outside with the remote. My lords. Alright.
Have you followed the question? The question is very
Please repeat
simple.
the question.
How did you happen to, how the money was taken out?
How the money was taken out?
That's the question.
We straight away tried to hit the wall, and we stuffed the money. We stuffed the money inside the bag,
Inside the bag.
which we carried. We
You
had.
carried the bags with you when you entered the casino? Alright. And how many bags were there?
8.
8 bags. Alright. What happened after that?
And we then moved on to. We just wanted to rappel down, and we
One
picked.
second, one second. Could you please tell the court, which floor was this vault on?
The floor is. It was on the second floor.
It was on the second floor. So, you took those 8 bags and from the second floor, what did you do after that?
we just then we were planning to move down.
So with those bags, you plan to move down. All right. Then
Two of our partners had already moved down, and we were after them, and we were moving down after them, and
where were you going to go down to?
motorboat, which was
Motorboat. So you came from the front entrance and you were going to leave by the motorboat. All right.
and one of our partners was waiting for us, and while we raffled down, two of our partners already escaped while we were trying to escape, but Michael Barbosa, he came in the crime
How do
scene.
you know Michael Barbosa?
Michael Barbosa was one of my friend, and before getting into this, before being approached in this dacoity, I was working formerly in Montecito Hotel.
What happened after that? You saw Michael Barbosa.
Michael Barbosa, and he commanded us to stop there and then. But two of our partners, they escaped. But in order to escape, I grabbed a hostage. But
You grabbed a hostage. How did you grab a hostage? You stayed before this court, you had no weapons. So how did you take the hostage?
I just pulled. There was one guest who I just pulled his shoulder, and then I started hitting him,
You started hitting him. How did you hit the guest?
hitting him on his friend,
What?
hitting him on his friend
Okay.
in his face. And while Michael Barbosa commanded me, and then I didn't obey, and he should me.
So how did you grab that hostage? Were you hitting him? That's all you were doing? You were just hitting him. So he was here and you were hitting him. That's all you were doing. All right. And what happened after that?
He shot me.
He shot you. All right. And then?
He shot me. I was
And you-
injured.
Oh, all right. So you were injured. And where did he shoot you? Could you please tell the court?
Where?
Where?
Just some 3 inches above the knee.
3 inches above the knee. So would this be the correct position? Around this position, approximately.
The gun entered behind. So
Behind.
yeah,
This part.
yeah.
My lords, please take into account that Bhaskar Sanyal was shot over here, 3 inches above the knee on the back side, my lords.
All right. So after you were shot, you fell down. You did not see anything else. Is that true? Are you stating before this court that after you were shot, you fell down, you have not seen anything else? All right. In your examination in chief, you said that you. All right.
First, she already had shot my friend Babaji, and then he.
Why did you not mention this detail to the court before?
That wasn't asked, Your Lordship.
I asked you the incidents, the details of the incidents.
First of all, he already shot my friend, and he was shot straight over his face, and he was dead then and there itself. And he commanded me. I already told that I grabbed the hostage, and then he shot me, and I got injured.
You didn't grab a hostage, you were hitting a hostage. All right. And what happened? You fell down. All right. One last question. Where is the Montecito located?
Montecito is located in Mandovi Rivers.
All right. Thank you. Much obliged, my lords.
Your Lordship, counsel for the prosecution seeks to call on the next witness, Ms. Sonali Gujral, on the witness box. Ms. Gujral, what office do you hold in the Montecito Hotel?
I am the CEO and the president of the ambassador.
Okay. And can you tell us something about the New Year's Eve?
We are a big business. I own the Aurora, and 31st, and we gain our profits throughout the holiday season. And 31st is one such night that we look forward to. So we try with our best efforts to make everything perfect for that night.
Okay. And what special event were you hosting on the 31st?
On that 31st, on the night of 31st December, we were hosting a poker invitational. It had a buy-in of it required a buy-in of 50 lakhs, and there were only 40 people who could play. They completed the buy-in. There were 40 people who was allowed to play the poker invitational.
Okay. And who all were allowed into the casino?
Apart from the 40 people who committed to the buy-in, there were a few other black card holders who were also allowed, as well as personal guests of mine and Mr. J.S. Rana's.
Okay. So your guests were there as well?
Yes.
Point to be noted, Your people were pitching 50 lakh each. That would come up to about 20 crores, Your Lordship. So, Ms. Gujral, What arrangement did you have for safeguarding or storing such big amount of money?
We have a state-of-the-art main vault located in the first floor. We were planning to put the money inside that vault.
So did you put the money inside that
No,
vault?
it was shifted to the.
Objection. Did you put the money inside that vault?
She said we were planning to, so I just asked.
It's a leading question. The council is suggesting the answer. She said, did you put the money? She didn't say, did you put the money or not? Your Lordship, a question should do when it would not be leading, when both either or could happen. Right?
Please answer the question, Ms. Gujral. Did you or did you not put the money in that vault?
No,
Why?
we did not. We had to shift the money to the Octavius vault, which is located in the casino itself, in the floor where the casino is situated, on the recommendation of Mr. J.S. Rana.
Your Lordship's point to be noted, Major Rana was the one who wanted to shift the money into the Octavius vault. Miss Gujral, as we all know, Your Lordship, as we all know, that the dacoity occurred but the alarm did not trigger on time. Miss Gujral, why do you think that happened?
The alarm, as far as I know, the alarm was running on efficiently and smoothly. The only possibility is that the vault would have to be accessed by a remote.
Okay, and who had access to such a remote?
There were 3 remotes to the vault in the Octavius floor. Me, Michael Barbosa, and J.S. Rana.
Again, a point to be noted, Your Lordship. J.S. Rana had access to the vault through the remote. Another question, Ms. Gujral, who was responsible to oversee the guest list for Octavius on that day?
J.S. Rana had the final discretion on who was invited. I personally told him that who were the people I wanted to invite, and he had the final guest list. He included the people which I wanted to invite, and I even personally asked him to escort my guests, and he did so on my request.
So, were you with your guests at the party?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And did you see the final guest list, Ms. Gujral?
No, I did not.
Objection. Did you see the final guest list suggesting the answer to the question?
Your Lordship, if the council will not allow me to question my witness.
Did you see the final guest list where there is no prior mention of the guest list? It is a leading question.
Yes, I talked about guests. This is guest list was described by Mr. Rana.
Ms. Gujral, who had the final say on the security guards that were placed or stationed on the Montecito that night?
J.S. Rana, he's the head of operation security in my ship. So he had the final call as to who were the guards to be stationed near the walls.
And what firearms are issued to your security personnel?
The security personnel aboard the ship are issued with a casino issue, a Glock .38 handgun.
And what is the uniform of the security personnel?
They are required to be in the formals, black suit, and we maintain a policy in the hotel that every one of our staff members has to wear gloves in order to maintain hygiene.
Point to be noted that all the staff of the hotel wears gloves, Your Lordship. One last question, Ms. Gujral. What all drinks were being served in the Montecito that night?
Since it was an adult party and we were hosting a poker game, the drinks were all cocktails and alcoholic drinks.
Thank you, Ms. Gujral. The defense witness may question.
Counsel seeks permission of the bench to begin with the cross-examination. Much obliged, my lords. Could you please state your name for the record?
Your Honor, my name is Shonali Gujral.
What is your age?
My age is 33 years.
All right. And what is your occupation?
I'm the CEO and President of the Montecito.
All right. When did you establish this business?
The Montecito was established 6 months back.
6 months back.
Yeah.
All right. Could you please tell the court the date of establishment?
6 months before December would be June, July.
July.
Yes.
My lords, please take this into account. The CEO of Montecito states that this casino was started in June or July of 2013. All right. And so would it be true to state? 2012. Yes, sir. 2012, madam. June 2012.
I apologize, my lords. So, would it be true to say that you started this business on your own grit and determination?
Yes.
Alright. So, would it also be true to say that you take active interest in your business and you make sure that everything is running alright?
Yes, I do. As a CEO, I'm required to.
Alright. Could you please tell the court what is the name of your boat
Aurora.
and what is the parrot?
Faro is another casino, another hotel which is housed aboard a smaller ship than Aurora.
Alright. Now, could you tell the court who is your chief security officer
Chief Security Officer is Michael Barbosa.
and who is your operations in charge?
Head of Operations is Major G.S. Rana.
Alright. Could you please state the job profile of both these job profiles of Michael Barbosa and Major Rana?
Michael Barbosa is a highly recommended security. He had a security, private security company, so I hired
the
him to
job
look.
profile. What do they do at your casino?
Acha, okay. Michael Barbosa looks after the security of the casino. He looks after the guests, the walls, everything, and Major Rana, he looks after all the operations that are going on in the casino,
So-
including security.
So Michael looks after the walls and all the security,
Yes.
and Major Rana just makes sure that everything is running all right.
Yes.
All right, my lords, please take this into account that Michael Barbosa is the chief security officer who takes care of the wall and the security, and Major Rana is the head of operations who just makes sure that everything is working all right. All right. How do these walls open? How many walls do you have? I'm sorry. How many
There
walls
are
do you
two walls.
have? All right. Could
One.
you please say the exact locations of these two walls?
There are two vaults. The first vault, the main vault that we consider it to be main, it is located on the first floor of the ship, and the Octavius vault is located on the second floor, that is in the Montecito.
Is the security arrangement of both the walls the same? Like they open in the same way, they shut in the same way, they function in the same way? Or is
Yes,
it
pretty
different?
much the same. These are technical details. I wouldn't know so much about it.
So they work in the same way.
Yeah, pretty much. I suppose so. Maybe there might be some differences in their working.
Now, where was this party being hosted?
The poker game was being hosted in the second floor, that is in the floor of Montecito.
Okay, so it was being hosted at the Octavius,
Yes.
and this vault was also the Octavius vault.
Yes.
So wouldn't it be true to state that this vault was near to the party?
Yes.
Alright. Now, as you have already stated before the court, that Major Rana told you to keep the money in that vault, which is near the party. Don't you think it was a good suggestion? Because at the party, so much money would be coming, so it would be better if you put it somewhere that is near the party instead of taking it up.
Yes, I agreed with him. That's why we shifted the money to the
Alright, so you
previous
are
vault.
stating before the court that you agreed with Major Rana and Major Rana did not take this decision on his own.
He knew more about the vaults than I did. So I trusted his opinion, and accordingly I shifted the money.
But is this a statement that you have stated before the court? In this you have stated that the security systems of Montecito were truly world class and we had taken the best possible precautionary measures to avoid any incident.
Yes,
So
I did.
you were also a part of this entire planning and you believed that the money would be safe there.
I employed Major Rana to look after these kind of details, which I'm not very techno savvy, so I wouldn't know about this. So I trusted him with everything.
Alright. After that you have stated that I had special men on guard. Who were these special men?
These men were personally selected by Major Rana.
Alright. How many employees do you have on the ship?
I have around permanent. I think I have around 162 permanent members, permanent employees,
Do you
and
know
some ad
every
hoc.
employee? Do you know every employee who works at your casino?
Yes, the permanent ones I do know.
Alright. So how do you know Bhaskar Sanyal?
He was employed. He was employed on the recommendation of Mr. Michael Barbosa.
Alright.
Yes.
So my lords, please take this into account. That he was employed under the recommendation of Michael Barbosa. Alright. And could you please tell us about the night of the 31st? What happened on the night of 31st? Where were you? Just tell us where were you?
I was at the party in
At the party.
Octavius. Yes.
Alright. And when did you first hear about this incident?
At around 11:30, my personal bodyguard rushed to me and said that there was a firing aboard the ship, and he frisked me away to a safer
Could
location.
you please tell the court the name of this personal bodyguard?
Arjun.
Arjun. Alright, my lords, please take this into account. When he frisked you?
He took me to my office.
He took you to your office. Alright. Then, what happened after that? When did you file the police complaint?
I filed the police complaint at midnight at around 12:01 a.m.
Around 12:01, you
Yes.
filed a police complaint. All right. And did you see the incident while filing the police complaint?
No, I did not.
You did not see the incident while filing the police
No, I
complaint?
was
All right.
at another place.
Is this the copy of the FIR? All right. You are stating in your FIR that I recognize Bhaskar as the injured person. If you were not present on the scene of the crime, how did... Alright. If you were not present, if you did not see the scene, how did you recognize Bhaskar as the injured person?
Michael Barbosa, after the incident had taken place, Michael Barbosa had told me that these were the events that took place, and plus when the examiner, the medical examiner came to take away the patient, then I saw it was Michael.
The FIR was registered at 12:01.
Yes.
So Michael came and told you about the incidents.
Yes.
But you did not see Bhaskar.
Not
So
that.
would it be true to say that you have not mentioned the correct facts in the first information report?
No, I did. I said that I saw Bhaskar Sanyal. I saw him injured. I did not
Alright.
say that.
So would it be true to say that the police officer who took your FIR has not stated the correct facts in this report?
No, I did not say that.
My lords, Ms. Gujral has stated that she did not... My lords, I just want to prove that whatever she has stated has not been there in the is not there in the FIR, or the police officer has not registered the FIR properly. Oh, my lords, she has stated that she did not see Bhaskar Sanyal, she did not see the incident. So she
She did see the incident, that's correct.
yeah,
Saw the injury on Bhaskar Sanyal.
she did not see the injury the time.
Saw the injury of the person of Bhaskar Sanyal. She is saying that she didn't see the incident.
She didn't see the incident. Did you see the incident?
No,
See the incident.
no.
Okay. Is there in the FIR that I saw the incident?
Yeah, she said I recognize Bhaskar as the injured person.
That is another question. And that she said that I saw the injury of the person of Bhaskar. So what is the contradiction there?
But my lord, Bhaskar was at the scene of the crime.
He was.
So he remained there for whole night.
My lord, but at 12:01 she filed the FIR. And Bhaskar,
If he was not attended to, that is what she said. That the court was attended. He was by doctor, they were taken away.
my lord, I proved this point in the course of other examinations.
We are asking you that you want to bring a contradiction in your FIR, you have to bring forward the thing that this is something which is different from what is saying.
My lord, the council is just trying to establish where, when, at what point she filed the FIR.
The council is asking the questions, you are putting the question to the council. So when you want to bring a contradiction in the FIR, you bring the specific thing that this is the contradiction in the FIR. This said something in the FIR which is not true.
Okay.
This is not saying anything which is not there.
Indeed, my lord, I agree with your point. What time did you see Bhaskar Sanyal?
I don't remember the time exactly, but when at around 1:20 when the person 1:15, I think at around 1:15 when the person
And where was he at 1:15?
I don't know where he was, but I saw them take him out.
Where did you see him? Where did you see Bhaskar Sanyal at 1:15?
Where is while they were taking him to the I don't know they were taking him outside the ship.
Alright, my lords, please take this into account that at 1:15 Bhaskar Sanyal was still on the ship. Alright. Did you register this FIR over the phone?
Yes,
Alright. And how long did it take you to register this FIR?
I wasn't keeping track of the time. I'm sorry.
Alright. And what time did the police arrive?
At around 12:15.
12:15. And what did the police first do on arriving?
They went over the crime. They went over the crime scene, and then they took the statements of the witnesses. I suppose that was the procedure that was followed.
So, Ms. Shirani Gujral, when did you sign this FIR?
I don't remember. No.
My lords, please take this into account. Sonali Gujarat does not remember signing the first information report.
There were so many events that were going on.
We like that the council referring to the facts should be true. You are asking about the timing, then you are saying that about timing. There are two different things. I think we do understand that part at least. That timing and signing, they are two different things.
My lords,
If you are asking the question about the timing, at what time did you sign, then you want to record it that I didn't know about signing. That can't do.
my lords, she said she does not.
No, be fair.
Alright, thank you. Much obliged, my lords.
Your Lordship, the Counsel for Prosecution seeks to call on the next witness, Inspector Amir Bashir. Mr. Bashir, kindly introduce yourself to the court.
I'm Sub Inspector Amir Bashir, Police Station Division 3, District Panaji, Goa Police.
Mr. Bashir, at what time did you reach the crime scene?
I reached the crime scene at around 1:20 a.m.
Okay, and what did you find there?
We found one Smith and Wesson revolver and two Glock handguns, and we found a dead body of Brij Gopal, and we found 4 empty shells and 17 live cartridges.
Were these the exhibits you found?
Yes, and also we found 2 ropes.
Okay. And who recorded the statements of the witnesses?
The statements of the witnesses were recorded by the assistant sub-inspector, that was Vinod Kumar.
Okay. And whose statements were recorded?
The statements were recorded were of Zareen Malik, Sonali Gujral, Major J.S. Rana, Shekhar Subramaniam and Michael Barbosa.
And Bhaskar Sanyal did not make it.
Bhaskar Sanyal did not.
Thank you. That's all from me.
Much obliged, my lords. Could you please state your name?
Sub-Inspector Amir Bashir.
And what is your rank?
Sub-Inspector.
Alright. Do you uphold the law and give highest regard to the judiciary?
It's a very technical question. I would it would be out of my jurisdiction.
Which year did you join the police in?
I joined the police in the year 1996.
Alright. And which police station are you attached to?
The Panaji District Police Station, the Police Station Division 3.
Alright. And what time were you first informed about this incident?
I was first informed about this incident at around 12:15 a.m. Sorry.
Okay. So you were informed about it. You were informed about the incident at 12:15.
After 12:15.
After 12:15. And what time did you reach the spot?
At 1:20 a.m.
At 1:20 you reached the scene of the crime. Alright. How much time do you take to reach the scene of the crime?
Actually, I was involved in another case of drunken driving because on 31st December, lots of such incidents happen in the
Okay.
state of
How
Goa.
far would the police station be from the hotel?
I was not at the police station. I was at another.
Okay. Alright. And what did you see once you entered the crime scene?
I found the dead body of Brij Gopal, and after surveying, we found there were 4 empty shells. There were some live cartridges, and we collected the guns which we found, which were handed over to us by the security personnel, and we collected them in plastic bags with our gloves on. So we collected them properly, and the guns and the bullets were separately collected.
So in whose presence did you collect these?
These were collected in the presence of my assistant, sub-inspector, that is Vinod Kumar, and the Havildar Madhav Mathur.
And what time did you take the injured to the hospital?
The injured was taken to the hospital at around after 1:30.
1:30. And what time did Vinod Kumar reach the spot?
Vinod Kumar reached the spot at 12:15 a.m.
Alright. So Vinod Kumar reached the spot at 12:15 and Bhaskar Sanyal was right there on the spot at that moment?
Yes.
Or
You are presupposing something now. When somebody, he was not there, what happened? Can the witness say what happened?
my lord, is a police inspector and
What does it matter? If you cannot see,
My lord, he is the one who has charged the accused, he is the one who has prepared the final report, so he must. Alright, my lord. Okay. So you do not know anything about what Vinod Kumar did?
No.
Alright. And who made the sketch?
The sketch was prepared by me only.
It was prepared by you.
Yes.
You did not have a draftsman who made the sketch?
No.
Why have you not stated exact distances in the sketch?
Because it was very difficult for me to actually measure the thing. Because I was not prepared for the case of murder. The FIR was reported for dacoity only.
So are you trying to say that you were not prepared for the investigation when you came there for the first time?
I went there for the investigation of dacoity only.
Alright. My lords, please take into account, Inspector is saying that he was not prepared for the investigation when he went on the spot.
Not prepared for the investigation of murder. Prepared for the investigation of dacoity only.
Alright. And where did you seize the weapons from?
The weapons were seized from the deck of the ship.
From the deck. Alright. Why did you not send the weapons to a fingerprint analyst?
The weapons were sent to a fingerprint analyst as soon as possible.
Alright. And are you sure that Bhaskar was taken to the hospital at 1:30? Because you said 1:20.
I'm not exactly sure of the time, but it was done after I came, so it should be around 1:30.
And where was Bhaskar Sanyal when you came?
Bhaskar Sanyal was on the deck only. He was injured and bleeding.
He was injured and bleeding on the deck. Alright. And who took Bhaskar Sanyal to the hospital?
I ordered my assistant, Sub-Inspector Vinod Kumar, to take him to the hospital.
Alright. And after this entire incident, did you check the wall where this entire robbery had occurred?
Yes, I did.
And what did you discover? Did you take the fingerprints there? Did you look for anything?
Yes, we searched for fingerprints, but we did not find any.
Alright. And did you try to trace the other pen?
The other?
Other dacoits? Did you try to trace them?
Yes, we did, but by the time it was too late, we couldn't find anybody.
Okay. Which all experts did you send the reports to?
We sent the reports to the, we sent the whatever evidences we found, we sent them for post-mortem report, and for medical, we had Bhaskar Sanyal medically examined. We also sent for forensic reports.
Alright. And which hospital did you send Bhaskar Sanyal to?
Bhaskar Sanyal was sent to the Dr. Alberto Costa Hospital.
Alberto Costa Hospital. Alright, my lords. If my lords would please be kind enough to turn to Annexure 5 of the given facts. My lords, Annexure 5 of the fact states Goa Medical College and Hospital. This is the hospital where Bhaskar Sanyal was admitted. Further, my lords, it also states the date and arrival. The date and the arrival timing was 1:15 a.m. My lords. The inspector states that he arrived on the scene of crime at 1:20. Bhaskar Sanyal was sent at some time around 1:30. Also, the name of the hospital is not true, my lords.
If I may interrupt, the Bhaskar Sanyal was sent to the Alberto Costa Hospital by me, but he was received at the Goa Medical Hospital because there was no feasibility of this examination to be done at that hospital.
How far are these hospitals from the Montecito?
These hospitals are about 5 kilometers.
5 kilometers far. My lords, but that still does not change the fact that the inspector arrived at 1:20 and at 1:15 Bhaskar Sanyal was in the hospital. Much obliged, my lords. Thank you, Inspector.
Your Lordship, the Council seeks to make one point with respect to the time queries put to Inspector by my learned co-counsel, that it was an investigation going on, everything was in a flurry, so every person cannot be expected to keep track of each minute that they pass. So the court is kindly requested to excuse some time discrepancies in the descriptions provided by the different witnesses, Your Lordship.
My Lordship, may this be raised in the final arguments and not in the time provided to examine the witnesses in chief?
Your Lordship, the Council seeks permission to move on to the next witness. Dr. Sabha Hudda, kindly come on to the witness box. Doctor, kindly introduce yourself to the court.
I am the forensic expert, Dr. Sabha Huda. I have examined the forensic, the items received by me.
What all items were received by you?
One Smith and Wesson and two Glock .38 handguns, 17 into .38 Hornby cartridges, and 4 empty shells.
Okay. The cartridges that you received, were they these given cartridges, these exhibits?
Yes.
Okay. Can they be used as a Smith and Wesson gun?
Yes, they can be used in a Smith and Wesson as well as the handguns.
Your Lordship, point to be noted that they may be used in a Smith and Wesson which is held by Major Rana. I would like to ask you another question, Doctor. You did a gunshot residue and distance determination test on the guns that were found. So, what did you find in that test?
In that, I found that the wound was, over the wound there was a powder shoot, a white powder shoot, which tells that it was a fully burned fire powder shoot, which extends to the distance around 5 to 10 feet, means it cannot be between 0 to 5. Because between 0 to 5, the gunpowder would be either unburned or semi-burned. But the powder which is found on the wound, it was fully burned.
Okay, so Your Lordship's point to be noted that the testimony of Dr. Huda tells us that there was a radius of about 10 feet in which the persons present in this radius could have shot the deceased. That's all, Doctor. Thank you.
Standard 38 handguns, Glock 38 handguns, and 17 into .3 Hornby cartridges and 4 empty shells.
Alright. What is the only things that you took from the side of the investigation officers to come to this conclusion report?
The items which I stated now.
Alright, that's it. You might have required a laboratory, sir. I'm saying that did the inspector only give you these things?
Yes.
Related to the case, you only had access to these things, that's it?
Yes.
Alright. And so you received 4 empty shells. Alright. In your statement, you have stated the grooves on 3 bullets match the standard issue Glock .38. What is the difference between shells and bullets?
See, I have the empty shells which are found, which I have received. They are they are already fired, and the powder which is within that bullet is like it is empty, and the bullet, it consists of the powder with the projectiles and with the other like the coatings.
If I'm not mistaken, you received the empty shells but not the bullets. Am I right?
Can I refer to my report, please? Sorry, I was confused with the shell and bullet. I have identified the bullets.
Alright. And now, could you please tell the court that have you seen the wound?
Yes.
But you just told the court that this is all that you had received and this is all you had seen in the case of the
Yeah,
investigation.
but for the distance determination, I was taken to the victim to look over only the wound part so that I can determine the distance.
So based on seeing the wound,
Only
you could
wound.
determine
I
the
have
distance.
not seen the victim.
So based on the wound, you could precisely say what was the distance.
Yes.
And could you please tell the court where was this wound?
On the right front tiles of this head.
Alright, thank you. Much appreciated.
Your Lordship, the counsel did not seek to call any more.
The
The burden of proof lies in the prosecution, however, to establish the defense version. The defense would now like to call on witnesses. And under the Oaths Act 1964, the defense would like the witnesses to be sworn under oath. The first witness, Major Rana. DW1, Major Rana. Please state your name for the court.
Major Rana.
Alright.
Yes, Rana.
Alright. When did you join the army?
I joined the army in the year 1980
Alright. Why did you leave the army?
because I was inundated with bloodshed and I wanted to get away from it.
Alright. What service arms were you given in the army?
Glock .17 handgun.
Alright. What did you do with them upon retiring?
After retiring, I returned them back to the army.
After retiring, you returned them back to the army. It was a Glock .17. He returned it back to the army. When did you join the Montecito? Yes, sir. Your Lordship, the accused himself has volunteered to give evidence in his own trial. Your Lordship, this is not a 313 statement. When he resigns the right to not give evidence in his own trial, I'm sorry, I failed to answer it. Yes.
Understand the question. He wants to examine himself as a witness in a trial in which he is accused.
Yes, sir.
You are taking a verbal prayer and asking him to come to my trial. Talk for examination.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the second one.
You have to ask the man to come into the dock and examine him.
Yes, sir.
Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
What is the provision? What is the requirement? Read section 315, 315. You are required to file a written application.
Your Lordship, the accused has already filed this written application in the interim, before the interim order.
Please read section 315.
So 315,
315.
315. Accused person to be competent witness. Any person accused of an offence before a criminal court shall be a competent witness for the defence and may give evidence on oath in disproof of charges made against him or any person charged together with him at the same trial, provided that he shall not be called as a witness except on his own request in writing. His failure to give evidence shall not be made any subject to any comment. Your Lordship, I submit that if you open the second page of the 173 report, you will see what is after the list of witnesses. For the purposes of the competition, it is to be presumed that Major J.S. Rana has consented to be examined as a witness. Yes, Your Lordship. A written statement, and Your Lordship, I am stating that he has presented this written statement at the first juncture, the first time we appeared before this court. Does this satisfy the court's query? Much obliged. I'm sorry. When did you join the Montecito?
31st December 2011.
Okay. What was your job profile?
At the Montecito, I'm the head of operations and my function is supervisory in nature to ensure that everything runs smoothly.
Alright. He's the head of operations. His function is just to see that everything goes smoothly. Am I correct?
Yes.
Alright. Now, what was your job profile on the night of the 31st?
As 31st is a much awaited night in Goa, so there were many DJ parties and all, so I was entrusted with the responsibility to ensure that there is good administration and that everything runs smoothly according to the plan.
So who would have taken care of the security?
Chief Security Officer Mr. Michael Barbosa under the guidance and he was reporting that directly to Shonali Gujral.
He was reporting directly to Shonali Gujral and he was taking care of all the security about the Aurora. Am I right?
Yes.
What was your involvement with the guests of the Octavius?
I had no involvement with the guest list. I was merely making sure that all the things run smoothly, the administration was proper. I had no involvement at all with the guest list.
Who took care of the guest list then?
It was the sole authority of Ms. Sonali Gujral.
Alright. Please note the accused states that it was the sole responsibility of Ms. Sonali Gujral. What was the nature of the light on the deck?
The light was brightly lit, but at 11:30, Ms. Sonali Gujral ordered the lights to be turned off.
Ms. Sonali Gujral ordered that the light be turned off. Why did she order this?
She wanted to have a good firecracker display, and that's why she ordered.
Firecracker display.
Yes.
Order. Now, so what happened in due course of the night?
At around 11:45, I got information on the intercom that 4 men dressed in fine suits were running about the deck. They were alleged decoys, and as soon as I got this information, I ran to the deck. Then, when I reached the deck, the light was brightly lit. Then Michael Barbosa was.
Let me interrupt you.
Yes.
How was the deck brightly lit once you got there?
Because on the way, I had ordered a person in charge of the security and all to light the lights on the deck.
Order. Sorry.
And when I reached the deck, then I saw that Michael Barbosa had overpowered a person who was falling on the ground, was falling on the deck, bleeding profusely. Then immediately Michael Barbosa told me to get help. I rushed as soon as possible to Ms. Sonali Gujral's office, which was located in the same floor of the Octavius. When I reached there, when I informed Ms. Sonali Gujral, she said that she was already aware of the incident and she had already informed the police about this.
While speaking to Michael Barbosa, what did you notice?
When I was speaking to Michael Barbosa, I had seen that he had overpowered a man who was on the deck bleeding profusely. Hit on the knee maybe.
Alright. Nothing else?
No.
Alright. Now, what did you do with Sonali in her office?
I went to her, I informed her, but she already told me that she was well informed about this incident and that she also informed the police about this.
Alright. What happened after that?
After that, I went to the deck. Then I saw Michael Barbosa and I also saw Sonali Gujral talk to the police. Then there was a lot of commotion in the deck because of all that has transpired. So Michael Barbosa was a bit low because of what has happened. So I told him to leave and I told that I'll take care of the administration and I'll bring the crowd under control.
Alright. What do you know of a certain body that was lying on the deck?
Well, when I saw a certain body, but at that time I had no idea as to whose body that might be.
And what did you do after seeing this body? Your Lordship, Your Lordship, I said, what did you do after seeing a body? I did not say dead body.
Why? He is not spoken about body.
So, Your Lordship, the body could be Bhaskar Sanyal's body also. Your Lordship, I request the witness statement. I apologize. I take my question back. What did you see on the deck?
When I reached the deck, I saw a person's body was lying on the deck, and then and also a person was injured.
Alright. And then what did you do after that?
After that, there was a huge commotion. Then I kept everything under control with the police. Alright.
Alright. What did you say to the police?
I told the police that I was taking care of the administration and all, and so I had no idea as to who these people might be because I was only informed on the intercom at around 11:45.
Permission here to ask a leading question. Did you give the statement to the police?
No.
Much obliged.
Your Lordship may permit, the council would like to do the cross-examination. Major Rana, you are the head of operations security at the Montecito Hotels, aren't you? No. You are not the head of operations security. I'm the head of operations. Not security. No. Are you sure not security? No. Then why it is so that in the statement you have quoted that you were the head of operations security?
The witness just stated that he did not give any statement.
I did not make it.
I did not make any statement, Your Lordship.
Your Lordship, in the examination of the inspector, it was clearly stated that five individuals gave their statements, Your Lordship, which is in your Annexure 7, Your Lordship. Why have you stated that you are head of Operation Security and I take care of the entire security apparatus of this lovely property?
As I have already stated, and I maintain my stand, that I have not given any statement.
That means that you are not responsible for the security at the ship.
If I was responsible, then there would have been no utility of a chief security officer.
Mr. Rana, are you tutored by your defense?
Sorry?
Are you being tutored by your defense?
No.
So you mean to say that each and every other person who talks about that you are the head of security, you were responsible for that event, is lying? Each and every person, the owner, the CEO of the hotel where you work, is lying about your job profile.
Mr. Public Prosecutor, let me make you clear.
Please make it clear to the court, not to me.
Yes, Your Lordship, there is a demarcation between a chief security officer and a head of operations. Your Lordship,
Which operation you were head of?
Your Lordship, 31st.
I am asking which operation were you head of, not on 31st.
There was not just a poker invitational that night.
I am asking which operation were you head of? It's really simple.
Your Lordship, I was a head of the overall administration, but I had no relation as to what was going on with the poker
Which
invitational.
operation? I want the specific job profile. Which operation? You were head of operations. There are many operations. Which operation?
On that particular night, they were DJ
I
party.
am asking about your job profile.
Profile, I was head of operations.
Which operation?
Head of operations does not have a
Head of operations
demarcation.
does not refer to operation.
Your Lordship, when I was given this job, I was not clearly stated that you were supposed to do only these things. I was said that you are a man of good administrative capacity. You are in charge of the general administration and not just this, that.
Okay, so you are not head of a specific operation.
No.
Okay, so why were you appointed and a retired army official for administrative purposes and not for any other purpose? What was your qualification or what was your...
I am a retired major official.
So?
I am a man of good administrative capacity. I was
Is being a major and being an administrator anywhere connected?
Yes, I'm a good crowd. I can control crowd. I'm a good administrator. There were many revelries which take place on that ship, and I keep strict supervision over everything. But on that particular night, that Octavius was not my concern.
I'm not asking anything about that particular night. I'm asking about your job at that hotel and casino.
Yes.
Your Lordship, Ms. Gujral, the owner, the CEO, has stated him to be the head of Operation Security. What age did you join the army?
16.
16. You joined the army.
I joined the army school, Indian Military Academy, Dehradun.
And you took early retirement.
Yes.
Were you thinking of early retirement from the Montecito also?
No.
Okay. Can you just explain to the court the scenario at the deck when you reached?
Sure. Your Lordship, when I reached the deck at around 11:50, the deck was brightly lit because on the way I had informed the people to light the deck, which was previously told by Shonali Gujral to be switched off. When I reached the deck, I saw that Mr. Michael Barbosa had overpowered a man who was lying on the ground, bleeding profusely, and also there was a body lying on the floor. That I assumed him to be dead.
You assumed him to be dead.
Yes.
You didn't bother to go and check?
No, because immediately Michael Barbosa told me that there has been a mishap. Please go and inform and make sure that everything else is under control.
Okay, and you informed Ms. Gujral at 11:45?
No. At 11:45 I was informed. I obviously took some time to
You
come
were,
to the deck.
you were informed at 11:45?
Yes.
So you were not at the deck before 11:45?
No.
Please, Your Honor, please it may be noted that the witness is saying that he was not at the deck prior to 11:45, Your Honor. Then you have quoted in your chief examination that Michael Barbosa was low. Can you please, was feeling low? Can you please elaborate on this point?
Yes, because he had shot a man who was injured. Obviously, when you shoot a man and you have injured and all this has happened, obviously a person won't be in a normal state of mind. That's a general prudent man, of course.
Okay. And as you were saying that you were not at the deck, so that means that you didn't take any shot. You completely deny the possibility of your presence at the deck completely.
Yes, I deny. I was not there.
Okay. The last question.
Yes.
At what time the lights were turned off?
11:30 by the orders of Mr. Nali.
By?
The orders of Mr. Nali
Your
Gujral.
Lordship, it must be quoted that it was 11:30 when Ms. Gujarat was informed about the killing at the deck, and she was taken by her guard Arjun to her office, and there was no order about it. That's it.
Your Lordship, I would like to make a point. I had informed Mr. Nali Gujral that there was no need. Your Lordship,
You informed
the
Ms. Gujarat.
prosecution is trying to impose its assertions on me. Your Lordship.
I'm not trying to.
Yes, Your Lordship.
Whether you are the boss of Mr. Babusa or Mr. Babusa was your boss.
Your Lordship, there was no
You are
demarcation.
the errand boy of Mr. Babusa.
Your Lordship.
Babusa says something, you run.
Your Lordship, I had a signature of a retired major official, so they kept me on supervisory
No,
function.
you are not asking about your job profile. You are asking a simple question.
No, no, no.
Let us tell us frankly whether you were working under Babusa or Mr. Babusa was under you. You are a superior officer of Babusa.
We were on the same horizontal line because I was just supervising.
Thank you.
Kindly note it.
Your Lordship, the defense would now like to call defense witness number 2, Zareen Malik. Please state your name.
I'm Zareen Malik.
Where were you on the night of the 31st?
I came to Montecito Casino with my boyfriend Nitin Mittal for the celebrations of the 31st night.
Alright. What was your boyfriend doing?
He was gambling at that time.
Alright. And what were you doing at around 11:30 that night?
11:30. I went to the deck, and because my boyfriend was busy gambling, I expected him to come and spend some time with me, and I wanted to participate in the celebrations which were going on during that 31st night. So I went to the deck side, and I was lying on the chair. Alone.
Lying on the?
I was actually sitting on the chair.
You were sitting on the chair. Where was this chair?
The top floor deck.
There. Alright. Now, what did you see while you were sitting on the chair?
I was sitting on the chair. Suddenly, I heard a gunshot from my right, and then I hid behind the chair.
You hid behind the chair?
Yeah, because I was scared, so I hid behind the chair.
And once you were behind this chair, what did you see?
When I was behind the chair, I saw 4 men running towards running from my left towards the deck, and some second gunshot was. I heard the second gunshot from the center.
Alright. So you were behind this chair at all times?
I was hiding behind the chair, yeah, because I was scared.
Alright. And did you see anything after that?
After that, I saw one person, I guess it was Michael Barbosa. He was holding a hostage, and he was trying to shoot.
Okay. And how could you see this person?
Then after I hid behind the chair, the lights came. After the second shoot, I heard the second shoot. Lights were there.
Lights came on in direct corroboration with what Major Rana said. Alright. Now, what was this captor wearing as you stated?
The captor was wearing, I guess, black suit.
Black suit. And who was the hostage?
Who was the hostage? Shekhar Subramanian.
Shekhar Subramanian. How do you know his name?
While I was called to the police station, this I was told to be present there for the Panchnama thing, and then I came in contact with this Sheikh Hasibuddin.
Okay,
That's
okay.
how I know him.
So, you saw someone capture this hostage, alright? What happened after you saw this person capture the hostage?
I saw after he was captured, I saw Major Rana running towards Michael Barbosa. He spoke something and then he went away.
Okay. And who was the person who captured the hostage?
Person who captured Michael Barbosa.
Michael Barbosa. Alright. Now, what happened after this entire incident?
What happened after? I went away with my boyfriend little because I was really very scared.
Permission to ask a leading question, like the same leading question. Did you at any point give a statement to the police?
I have never given any statement to the police.
No. Much obliged.
The court may permit the counsel to lecture. Miss Malik, can you provide us with your address?
Address. I stay in 534 Galaxy Heights, Bandra, Mumbai.
And you were present in Goa for what?
I went to Goa along with my boyfriend, Mr.
You can skip the name, we are not interested.
Okay. And actually, we wanted to participate in this 31st night celebration, which was to be held in Montecito Casino.
Okay. And then you have stated that you were sitting alone on a chair at the deck of the ship. You
Yeah.
went there to enjoy and then you were sitting alone. Is that true?
Yeah, it is true.
Is it true?
Yeah.
So what was the particular reason for that?
Reason was that I wanted to spend some time with my boyfriend and wanted to participate in that celebration. But instead of he was not being with me, and he was more interested in the gambling thing. And
Okay, so when he was gambling,
Yeah.
what were you doing?
I was sitting in the deck. I was waiting for
You
him.
directly went to the deck.
I was depressed. I was really very depressed, and I went, and this led, which made me go to the deck. And
You directly went to the deck.
yeah.
Did you consume or did you not consume anything at the party?
No, I never consumed.
So
it.
you mean you were completely in your senses?
Yeah.
And then in the chief examination you said that you saw Major Rana at the deck. In your examination you stated that Major Rana was there at the deck.
Major Rana, yeah, he came.
Your Lordship, it must be noted that she was in her proper senses and she saw Major Rana at the deck, and Major Rana denied that she was not at the deck prior to 11:45.
Your Lordship, may the witness complete what you were saying?
I wanted to say that Major Rana came for a minute or two, and he spoke something in the ears of Michael Barbosa, and then he ran away.
He came to the deck.
Yeah.
You saw him at the deck.
Yeah, I saw him at the
Okay.
deck.
Can you describe the scenario at the deck? What happened?
The scenario at the deck. While I was sitting on the chair, I heard a gunshot from my right. Okay. And
From
then
your?
From my right.
From your right.
Yeah.
Kindly, we can come one question back. Where were you sitting?
I was sitting on, not on the deck, I mean on the chair.
Where the chair was?
On the deck.
Where on the deck?
On the deck,
You remember everything what happened, but you do not remember where you were sitting.
I was sitting on the chair.
Where?
The chair which was present on the pool side. I mean like the,
You were facing the pool. You were sitting at the chair at the pool side.
yeah, I was facing the pool.
You were facing the pool.
Yes.
And where all these incidents took place?
All this incident was happening on the deck itself.
Behind you, because you were facing the pool, there was nothing to see in front of it. That was probably behind you.
No.
So it was happening on the pool, on the water
It was
itself.
happening on the pool.
Then
I was facing the pool.
you were facing the pool, there was water in front of you, no one can walk on water, so everything happened behind you. It's
Yeah.
that, yeah?
Yeah.
Then there might be something which
Your
made you
Lordship,
turn back.
if you refer to the annexure, there is space behind the pool as well.
So it happened behind you. So what made you turn back? What made you turn to see what happened? You were facing the pool. Out of ordinary, you won't turn back. What happened that you made you turn?
As I heard the gunshot.
You heard the gunshot
Yeah.
and then you turned.
Yeah.
Continue, what happened next?
Then after that, I saw 4 men running towards the deck. Okay. And then after they were running, I saw one person, Michael Barbosa. He tried to hold a person captive.
Who?
He tried to.
Who?
Michael Barbosa.
Michael Barbosa tried to hold a person captive.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean to say?
Yeah.
Your Lordship, Michael Barbosa was the one who tried to hold a person captive. That's what Ms. Malik is quoting in her complete true senses without any alcohol consumption. Your Lordship. And then continue, please proceed.
And after that, the person who was held captive was.
By Michael Barbosa. Then move ahead.
The person who was held captive was Shekhar Subramanian.
How do you know it was Shekhar Subramanian?
I went to the police station because I was called for that.
You went to the police station.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I was called
And
for
then you
that.
did not give any statement to the police?
No, I have never.
So what you did at the police station? Were you not inquired? What are you trying to say
I
here?
went to the police station for this Panchnama thing, and I never gave.
Then, madam, you signed the Panchnama and you were not investigated about anything by the police officer.
I did sign the Panchnama.
So you did not describe anything that happened, you did not say anything, you
I-
just went there, signed and come back.
I have never given any statement, but yes, they asked some questions. I
They
answered
asked
them.
some questions.
Yeah.
Your Lordship, if the questions are asked by the police officials, it is not compulsory, they should not be signed. So if they are turned into writing, they must not be signed by the witness itself. So there was a statement given, Your Lordship, which everyone is here contradicting, Your Lordship. Moving on, continue with the story. What happened at the day? You were still there at the day. Major Barbosa held one person captive. Then what?
After that, the lights were on.
Lights were
Lights were on.
on.
Yeah.
It was off earlier.
Yeah, it was on.
If you may, Your Lordship, if you see the clarifications, it is quoted clearly that the lights were properly lit all the time at the ship, Your Lordship. That is Your Lordship.
Your Lordship, the defense would now like to call defense DW4, Michael Barbosa. Understand?
Good afternoon, Your Lordship.
Please state your name for the court.
Myself, Michael Barbosa, and I am Chief Security Officer at Montecito Hotel.
Alright. What were your duties on the night of the 31st?
I was entrusted with duties of looking after the security operations, which were concerned with securities and all at the hotel.
Alright. So you were looking after the security.
Yeah.
Alright. Who did you work under?
I work under the CEO, Sonali Gujral.
Alright. What were the events that the Montecito was organizing on the 31st night?
It was organizing the events like DJ, firecrackers were also to be held there, and most importantly, it was also organizing this Octavius poker game.
Alright. Who was taking care of the events apart from the Octavius poker game?
Sorry, Council, I did not get your question.
Who was taking care of the events like the DJ, the firework that you stated? Who was taking care of these events?
These events were supervised by this head of operations, Mr. Major Rana.
Major Rana.
Yeah.
Alright. And who was taking care of the poker game?
Poker game was actually under the supervision of it was under the supervision of Sonali Gujral.
Sonali Gujral. Alright. How many people were present on the ship?
As per the estimates, there were around 500 people were present in that Montecito Hotel at that moment of time.
Alright. May it be noted, Sonali Gujral has not stated how many people there were at any point. What happened on the night of the 31st?
Are you asking about the crimes which were committed at that moment of time? Okay. Your Lordship, at around 11:45, we received the message on the intercom that there is some guys who are moving on the deck, and there has been some robbery has been done. So I ran towards the deck. I was actually present in the hotel side down the deck. When I received information, I ran upstairs towards the deck to see after what is actually happening. It was completely dark over there, so I fired one shot, a warning shot, to give an alarm to all those guys present over there. Unfortunately, I heard another shot which actually came from opposite direction towards me. Fortunately, it actually missed me, and therefore I became, I was alarmed, and therefore I shot in that particular direction. And then, estimating that there is some people who are present over there on the opposite direction facing me, therefore I started moving towards them. As soon as I started moving towards them, the lights came on, and I could see that there was two people. One man had held hostage another person. And therefore, seeing the gravity of the situation, I decided that I should actually go with firing that particular person who had held hostage another person. And therefore, I shot him on his leg. And then, when he, after I shot him on his leg, he became somewhat disturbed. And therefore, he actually got loosened his hold of that culprit, of that hostage. And therefore, hostage took advantage of this thing, and he actually ran away. And meanwhile, I ran towards this, this guy who was actually having person hostage. I ran towards him, I grabbed him, but by the time he had actually fallen down. But I could also see one more scene was there, that one guy was actually lying there, just a few feet behind him. And meanwhile, I saw this, and meanwhile Major Rana came running towards me, and then it was all this which happened.
Alright. Please note that the gunshots that you fired, one warning shot, one shot came towards you,
Yeah.
one shot you fired in the
Yeah.
same direction,
Yeah.
and then you shot him in the leg. Is that right?
Yes.
Alright. Now, what was this man's name who you caught?
Bhaskar Sanya.
Alright. Would it be right to say that you held him as a captor?
I could not get a question, sorry, Counsel.
You grabbed him, right?
Of course.
Alright. Now, what happened after that?
After that, actually, since the guy got shot on his leg, Your Lordship, therefore he actually, he went down on this floor, and I took control of him. Meanwhile, this Major Rana came running towards me, and I discussed, I spoke about these events to him, and suddenly, I informed Major Rana that this all events has taken place in this minute place, and then Major Rana, went away to discuss these things I don't know how much he went away. And meanwhile, I saw another person lying there dead. I thought that he was dead by the time. Therefore, I got down. I became frustrated. I became, depressed. Therefore, this was how it happened.
Permission to put a leading question. You fired just this last question, Your Lordship. You fired the warning shot.
Of course.
A shot came towards you.
Sure.
You fired this shot towards the shot where
It was
the
blind
came.
shot.
Could you say that this shot was hit that person that was lying down?
The person,
Could you say?
no. Because it was dark, how could I say?
Your Lordship, reasonable doubt.
Your Lordship, may permit. Mr. Babu, sir, can you explain your job profile to the court?
Of course, actually I am Chief Security Officer at Montecito Hotel. I was employed by this this Sonali Gujral, CEO and President of Hotel.
Kindly please do not quote it as an essay and just inform us. Just don't go on continuously. Please inform us. We want to know.
Yeah, I informed, I think.
No, that was an essay, learned essay. I want the proper answer. What office? do you
Objection.
In what form?
Assumption is the counsel stating that it was a learned essay.
No, this is my accent actually. I continue when I
So,
speak.
Kasha, can you speak slowly?
Sure. Actually, I was employed by Shena Italia as Chief Security Officer.
Short by
Not Shena Italia, sorry, Sonali Gujral.
Okay.
No, actually this name is very confusing.
Sonali Gujral is confusing.
I
Can you
apologize,
continue
Your Lordship.
and be a little serious with the case?
Of course I'm serious, but I have lot of words in my mind, therefore sometimes I get confused.
See, here is a matter of a crime which occurred at your ship under your supervision. So you must be serious here and please keep out all
I sincerely apologize for this wrong which I did. Sorry.
Okay. Do you know that you are deposing here under an oath?
Of course.
You know that?
Yeah.
And you cannot lie.
Of course I cannot lie.
You sure that?
Yeah, I can't lie in front of the witnesses.
Can you please provide us a detail of the special party that was organized at that?
See, as far as details are concerned, it is the prerogative of this Sonali Gujral. I am just a security officer over there.
Just the security
Officer and looking after the securities of the system. Therefore, I cannot, I don't have any domain, I don't have any jurisdiction beyond that. So I cannot exceed, I can just tell you that I was there to look after the securities, how the security is functioning.
And there was a breach in security?
Sorry?
There was a breach in security?
Yes, there was breach in security.
So that was because of your negligence? Because security was your, security was your department, then there was a breach. It was your negligence that caused the breach?
Yeah, it was due to my...
What was your negligence? What happened? Kindly please look over there.
Sorry?
Kindly look here or towards the judges.
Your Lordship, actually it was, I cannot consider to be a great breach because...
A great breach, 12 crore rupees. A great breach. What you want, 1,000 crores?
Okay, okay, my mistake that I turned with okay. Well, Your Lordship, I would like to tell you one thing that we are actually having since I am a chief security officer of this particular hotel, I am actually also given a lot of stuff to be handled that. I was actually not present at the deck at that moment of time. I was actually present in floor below the deck. I was actually looking at this over the matter, and yeah, as soon as these people, as soon as our guys got the information in the, they were having CCTVs and all, which was actually monitored by this, Sonali
Can you
Gujral.
please be a little slow,
Yeah.
please?
Okay, sorry.
It's a request.
Okay, fine. Well, these CCTVs and all were actually under direct supervision. So CCTVs and all were actually under the CCTVs and all were actually under the direct supervision of Sonali Gujral and her personal bodyguards. We actually received the message through intercom that there have some unidentified guys.
Please
Yeah,
let me
complete my...
Please let me interrupt.
Yeah, sure.
You mean to say that Sonali Gujral hired you for security and then she herself was supervising you. What was your work then?
My work was to look after securities,
Then
but
why
she
Sonali
had some,
Gujral was
she
doing
had her own security personnel over there. She had her own personal bodyguards.
Are you not her own security personnel?
No, I wasn't amongst them.
You are not Sonali Gujral's security person.
No, I wasn't amongst them.
Whose ship is...
She is having her own personal bodyguards.
We are not concerned with what Sonali was doing. Counsel is asking you about no role in the what we had seen. How you describe how this is.
Your Lordship.
We are not concerned as to what Sonali had seen or what Sonali had not seen.
Your Lordship, actually I have already conveyed the same, but as far the council has actually put forward this question.
So as part of the council,
No, I am not casting a
nothing. You just reply to the questions. We are not concerned to narrate here your story about that. Whatever questions is asked, you reply to that. Be brief to the answers.
You said that when you reached the deck, there was complete blackout.
Yeah, sure.
And you fired at a blackout.
It was first of a warning shot, then
That was complete blackout. You were not able to see who is in front of you. And you shot.
it was not just a tight shot on the, it was not a horizontal shot, it was a vertical shot.
And then second one.
Then second, after I gave the warning shot, there was some shot from the horizontal direction.
Okay.
So when I received this horizontal direction shot, I actually assumed, I am a security person, so I should assume that there is some threat, there is some grave danger over there. So I then gave a blind shot towards the direction from where the shot came. This was second shot from my side, which is followed actually by the shot which actually came from horizontal direction towards me.
And you imply that decoys while running, there is a complete dark blackout. They are running. They are in midst of running. You fire a warning shot and they stop and reply you with another shot or continue running.
No, it was first the warning shot. I think Counsel, you are not getting the points clear. It was first the vertical
I
shot.
accepted that it was a warning shot.
I said you accept, okay. Then when I gave the warning shot, there was another shot which came from the opposite direction. Okay. Then this shot, I assume that it is going to cause me a threat, and it is not only going to cause me a threat, but it is also a threat to other people because we don't had any idea at that moment of time that they might
Please be specific. Please be specific.
Yeah.
Your Lordship, I request you to please direct the witness to be specific. How many men rappelled down?
How many men rappelled down? At that moment of time, I wasn't aware that how many men were there, so I could not be able to help
You
out.
in your chief examination has quoted that when the lights turn on, there were two men standing
There were two men
and one dead body.
Yeah, but you asked me how many men rebelled down.
Two men standing
Yeah,
and
of
one,
course.
three men.
No,
Three men.
two men were there. One was no. Two means actually there were three men.
There were three men.
One, two, three, four.
Four men. Four men. Your Lordship, he means to say that when the lights were turned off, no one rappelled down, they were all waiting for the lights to turn on.
How, Your Lordship, how would you have seen things in the dark?
Your Lordship. Yeah. Your Lordship, as stated by the facts of the case, that there were two. Yeah, which what I actually saw. One was deceased.
We are not to say about this what the other person is saying, because we are listening here and listening. We are now supposing. So before what we had.
Your Lordship. May I explain, Your Lordship?
Your Lordship, the witness has quoted that when there was a complete blackout, he took a shot in the black place, and when the lights come up, when two men were standing, one fell down. The one question is the defense tutored you to incriminate yourself in this trial?
No.
Are you indirectly incriminating yourself to take the burden and charge of the murder in that?
No way.
So then please be clear about the incident, what happened.
Sorry.
Two men were standing, one was down, and you took one direct shot. That means that you killed him. Is that what you mean to say? You are nodding your head.
Your Lordship.
Objection, this question will incriminate the witness.
Your Lordship, I would like to. Your Lordship.
Please be there or here, not there.
Your Lordship, Your Lordship, I would like to make a statement over here. There were actually four people. One man had actually already got dead, one was deceased. One was, the hostage. One, the person who had held the person hostage, and one person who had, Major Rana. That's all. These were the four.
Major Rana, Your Lordship. Earlier he was saying.
No, Major Rana when he came towards the scene. So this is what I am saying.
That's all, Your Lordship. That's all, Your Lordship.
And the first shot as a warning shot. So pointing towards the sky. The second shot that you fired, you fired two shots. The second shot you fired, you are apprehending that danger to your life. When the one bullet came towards you, you fired in the dark. So whether that bullet has hit the man or injured the man, you don't know.
No, sir, I don't think I get it.
As a security officer, are you expected to fire in the dark?
So actually at that point of time, I had this intention to minimize the threat. Now I assume that if I am not, because already one
How do you want to minimize the threat by firing in the dark?
no, actually that person had actually shot towards me. Now assuming that it has come from the opposite direction. It has come from horizontal direction and come from opposite direction. Therefore it was my immediate reaction, reflex action. So this is how I actually responded back.
Okay. We appreciate your reflexes. If you just want to know, as a security officer, we are supposed to fire in the dark.
Your Lordship, actually being a chief security officer, I don't have okay, you are asking about minimizing the threat, but at the same time I also have the responsibility of minimizing the threat. Who knows that these people who are having the guns and all, they might also be posing a severe threat to other people. So as to minimize, now these people, you also please take into consideration the location. These people towards the direction which I had actually shot, this direction was actually at the end of the jet. That means the place from where I had to rappel down. So it was not going to hurt any people present over there. It was.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Thank you.
The Lordship, the defense would now like to call defense witness number 5, Dr. D.D. Rana.
One query, Your Lordship. One query, Your Lordship. Your Lordship, it is compulsory to engage in examining no witnesses in the due allotted time. And the defense has only.
That's a different.
Your Lordship, may I examine the witness with one question? Your Lordship, could you permit me to go straight to the point? Please introduce yourself.
I'm Advocacy Moot. I work in Goa Medical College.
Now, straight to the point. The person, the injured that you received on the 31st night, where was he shot? And I want you to state to the court the entry and the exit wound for the court.
It was shot on the lower medial side of the right thigh.
Could you show the court the person?
The Pastor Sanya.
Could you show the court which is the medial side and which is the lateral side?
This is the lower medial side of the right thigh. And he was shot from the side. It was slightly just above the knee joint.
Could you show me as well?
Yeah.
This is in direct contradiction with what Mr. Bhaskar Sanya said.
You ask me a witness a question, that's all right. Why you argue? You have enough opportunity for that.
Alright. Anything else you would like to say?
Legal report. Actually, what happens is when an injured person is brought, along with that, the weapon is brought. But in this case, no weapons were brought along with the injured person.
Much obliged.
Kindly introduce yourself.
And Dr. Defendant, I work in Goa Medical College and Hospital.
What is your master's in?
I have the MBBS.
MBBS. Are you capable enough to conduct investigation work?
You claim that the patient was sent for treatment of government.
Your Lordship, counsel.
Your case. That's because that was your case.
Your Lordship, the witnesses state that she was not given handed over any guns. The profile says that she was not supposed to get any guns. That's the
What
problem.
about the fact that she had examined her on about her medical qualifications?
Your Lordship, the only question was that she should not even be considered to hand over the gun. That's it, what the counsel is like to say.
That's it.
That's it, Your Lordship.
Your Lordship, the public prosecutor wishes to make the closing statement. Much obliged, Your Lordships. Your Lordships, as per the witnesses examined and the evidence exhibited in front of the court, the prosecution seeks to contend two things. Firstly, that Major Rana should be held liable under section 302 of the Indian Penal Code for the murder of Mr. Gopal. And secondly, Major Rana should be held under section 396 of the Indian Penal Code for dacoity with murder. Your Lordship, in the present case, as regards the murder, Your Lordship, if we refer to the section 300 of the IPC, it defines what a murder is, and it gives 4 clauses which define murder. The prosecution would like to claim that this is a murder under clause 3. The clause 3 reads, if it is done with the intention of causing bodily injury to any person, and the bodily injury intended to be inflicted is sufficient in the ordinary course of nature to cause death. Your Lordship, as per the statement of the witnesses, the reliable witnesses, I would like to assert, Major Rana actually shot the deceased on his forehead with a gun, that is a Smith & Wesson revolver gun. Your Lordship, if I take into consideration the statement of witnesses like Ms. Zareen Malik and Mr. Michael Barbosa, they completely go back on what they had told in front of the police. Your Lordship, the story created by the defense is exactly that.
You want to say that the witnesses are not liable, aside from the previous statement of the prosecution.
But Your Lordship, the witnesses are completely going back on their previous statements. We have cross-examined them on their previous statements. Your Lordship, from...
First, when they have gone back to their statement which they had earlier given to the police, and that statement ought to have been put to them, which has not been done by you.
Your Lordship, they were put questions that did you say this or did you not say this? They have blatantly denied making any statements in front of the police officer.
Then what is the procedure for proving it?
But Your Lordship, as per section 162 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, the evidences made in front of the police by any of the witnesses can be used as evidence against them if they choose to go against it.
Procedure of proving it. What is the procedure of proving it?
Your Lordship, the council please notice as to the entire procedure of it, but the council would like to assert that the judges can put these statements or judges can pose these questions in front of the witnesses and ask them whether they are indeed going back on their statements or whether they are actually did not make these statements. In the present case, Your Lordship, the defense witnesses are completely going back on their previous statements and blatantly denying having made any statements. Whereas they actually made statements, the proof of which lies with the prosecution and with the police. The judges may check the Annexure 7, which is the statement of witnesses. Your Lordship, so based on the evidence and the testimonies of the witnesses which have not been discredited, Your Lordship, it can be asserted that Major Rana indeed fired at the deceased Mr. Brij Gopal because Mr. Bhaskar Sanyal saw him do it. He fired at the forehead of the deceased. May I assert, Your Lordship? Your Lordship, if we go by the case of Veesa Singh versus State of Punjab, which I have cited in page number 6 of American submissions, they give 4 conditions. In the case, the judges gave 4 conditions to verify whether an act is a murder under clause 3 or not. Firstly, the inflicting of injury by the accused. Secondly, intention of the accused to inflict the given injury. Thirdly, the nature of the injury. And fourthly, sufficiency of the injury to cause death in the ordinary course of nature. Your Lordship, in the present case, accused indeed inflicted injury in the body of the deceased, because if we do not go by the statements made by Bhaskar Sanyal, or if we go by the statements which are currently being made by Mr. Barbosa or by Ms. Malik, they are completely discrepant among themselves. Ms. Malik says that Mr. Barbosa grabbed the hostage, whereas in actuality Mr. Bhaskar Sanyal grabbed the hostage. Similarly, Mr. Michael Barbosa claims that he fired a gun first upwards and then downwards, and his statements also do not corroborate with the statements of the other witnesses. So they cannot be credited, Your Lordship. So taking into account the statements of the credited witnesses, he indeed fired a shot. The shot was fired at the head of the deceased. So the second contention would be fulfilled that the nature of the injury was sufficient to cause death in the ordinary course of nature. Your Lordship, as the question of Major Rana's intention arises, as has already been proven that Major Rana was a part of the dacoity that was taking place on the Aurora that night. So Major Rana's intention was firstly to further his dacoity. That is, Major Rana wanted that Mr. Babaji or Mr. Brij Gopal does not reveal him, because if Mr. Brij Gopal had been caught, or if Mr. Bhaskar Sanyal had been caught, they would have revealed that Major Rana was also a part of the plan and he would have gotten implicit. Secondly, Major Rana might have thought that it was a better idea to claim a bigger share of the booty that they were going to steal away from the point. So, Your Lordship, Major Rana had the clear intention of killing the person when he aimed at him and shot at his head. Your Lordship, the nature of the injury and the place on which the injury has been inflicted is in itself a clear indication that Major Rana wanted to kill him, because if you fire at the head of any person, it is absolutely reasonable to assume that he will die no matter what. So an army man cannot be expected to just take a blind shot without knowing where he was shooting. You are trained to kill in the army. So Major Rana was taking the shot. It was clearly an execution style killing. He shot to kill and nothing else. Your Lordship, if Your Lordships are satisfied with prosecution, would like to move on to the second contention of the dacoity. Your Lordship, as per section 391, dacoity must be committed by 5 or more people. And there are 4 essentials of dacoity. Firstly, there should be 5 or more persons. Secondly, commission of dacoity should be conjoined, that is, together. Thirdly, one of them should commit murder. And fourthly, murder should be committed in the duration of the dacoity and for that end. Your Lordship, the first essential that 5 or more persons should be there is fulfilled. The persons were namely Major Rana, Bhaskar Sanyal, Bhiku Matre, Pappu Chote, Kesu Firangi and Brij Gopal. There are 6 people, so the first essential is fulfilled. Your Lordship, the second essential is conjoined commission of dacoity, which needs no proof. The third essential, Your Lordship, is that one of them should commit murder. which in this case, Your Lordship, Mr. Major Rana has committed a murder. And fourthly, the murder should be committed during the course of dacoity and for that end. The dacoity had not been completed because the dacoits had not run away from that place, Your Lordship, and Major Rana wanted to ensure that his role in the dacoity is not revealed. So the murder was in the course of dacoity and for that end, that is to further the dacoity. So it may be submitted that under section 396 of the IPC, Major Rana would be liable for the offence of murder. Your Lordship, as to the question of the statement of Bhaskar Sanyal and its admissibility, the statement would be completely admissible in a court of law as per section 133 of the Indian Evidence Act, which clearly states that the evidence of an accomplice has to be taken into consideration and it is completely admissible if he is satisfied that he is a reasonable witness and his statement receives sufficient corroboration. Your Lordship, the statements of Bhaskar Sanyal receive sufficient corroboration from Ms. Sonali Gujral's statements and they are also consistent with the in general tone of the case. Whereas, Your Lordship, if you look at the contentions put forward by the defense, they appear to be mere conjectures and they are hogging on time discrepancies and minute discrepancies to claim that Bhaskar Sanyal was not a worthy witness. Your Lordship, Major Rana makes a statement that I did not go on the deck. I was informed about the dacoity after 1:30 p.m. I came to know about after 11:45 p.m. I came to know about the dacoity. I had no idea of it. Your Lordship, a question is, if he had the remote which could access the vault, why wouldn't he know anything about the breaching of the alarm? Or if he was actually employed on the ship, he might have heard the gunshots. If he was the head of operations of security, or even if he claims that he is mere head of operations, even if he was the head of operations, any disturbance would have been reported to him immediately. And Your Lordship, as per the facts, around 11 p.m. the dacoity was committed, not after 11:30, Your Lordship. The dacoity was committed around 11 p.m. So the Major Rana statement becomes questionable that how did he come to know so much later. Major Rana and all other witnesses have tried to discredit Ms. Sonali Gujral's statement by saying that the entire Montecito or the entire Octavius was under her and she was taking care of the security arrangements herself, while she has sworn under oath that Major Rana was the person who was taking care of all the security arrangements and she merely was in the party enjoying with her friends. So, Your Lordship, the only thing that the defense here is trying to do is discredit the witnesses of the prosecution and make up a fictitious story which says that Major Rana was not present on the deck, whereas evidence points that he indeed was present at the deck because his gun has also been found on the deck. So, Your Lordship, it is highly questionable. The story of the defense is highly questionable that how is it possible that Major Rana was not on the deck and the sequence of events that the defense is trying to outline do not match up to each other, Your Lordship. So the witnesses cannot be called credible witnesses. The witnesses must be discredited and, Your Lordship, Major Rana should be held liable. Your Lordship, the council seeks permission to proceed with the prayer.
How many shells were found?
Your Lordship, 4 shells were found.
And how does the prosecution explain the existence of 4 shells?
Your Lordship, the prosecution does not have the burden to prove the existence of the 4th shell because the first shot was fired by Michael Barbosa in the air, so that accounts for the first shell. Second shot was fired by him on the knee, that accounts for the second. Then third shot was fired by Major Rana, so that accounts for the third shell. There is no mention of 4th shell anywhere in the facts or even in the testimonies. There is hardly any mention of the 4th shell. So 4th shell is a discrepancy, but it hardly matters since the guilt of Major Rana is already proven by the filing of the third shell.
Second question. How many firearms were found?
Lordship, 3 firearms were found.
3 firearms. And from how many firearms the bullets were fired?
Your Lordship, one of the bullets was fired from one of the Glocks, and one of the Smith and Wesson gun, and it does not specifically mention which firearm was fired from which gun. Merely says that 3 bullets were from a Glock.
In any case, it was found to be.
Yes, the bullets were pretty small.
Alright. Now, only one of the firearms was used?
Your Lordship, it has not been made specific. It has, there was no way to determine which of the firearms was used. 2 firearms were definitely used. One was a Smith and Wesson held by Major Rana. The other was a gun held by Michael Barbosa. Before this Honorable Court of Sessions, that the court may be pleased to hold, adjudge and declare that the statement of Bhaskar Sanyal is admissible evidence. The accused Major Rana is guilty for murder under section 302 of the Indian Penal Code. And the accused is also guilty under section 396 of the Indian Penal Code for dacoity with murder. And the court is also pleased to pass any other order which it may deem fit in the light of justice, equity and good conscience. All of this most undecided. Yes, Your Lordship. Much obliged, Your Lordship. I expect this.
Permission of this honorable bench, counsel for the defense would like to begin with the closing arguments. My lords, before I begin with the closing arguments, counsel would like to state that in the closing arguments, only the facts that have been stated in examination in chief have been tested in examination in cross and have been put forward before this court as evidence or through the testimonies of the witnesses. Only those arguments must be put in the closing arguments, my lords. Further, my lords, the prosecution cannot derive strength on the basis of the weakness of the defense story. They have to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, which the prosecution has failed to do so in the instant case, my lords. Now, my lords, the prosecution has charged Major Rana under section 396 and 302 of the Indian Penal Code. Counsel would just take one reading of this section, my lords, to show what are the ingredients under this charge. My lords, counsel quotes, first, the accused persons must be more than 5 in number. Secondly, they were acting conjointly. Thirdly, anyone or more of them committed murder. And fourthly, my lords, such murder was committed in the course of dacoity. Now, my lords, the prosecution has failed to show that Major Rana had a prior plan or a design to enter into this dacoity, my lords. My lords, counsel would here like to place a reliance on John H. Moore, rules of trials, my lords. Here, my lords, it has been stated that when you want to prove there was a prior design or a plan, two things are important to be established, my lord. What was the conduct of the accused? And has the accused acted in furtherance of that conduct, my lords? My lords, in the present case, the prosecution has failed to establish that Major Rana had nexus with the dacoits. Also, my lords, Bhaskar Sanyal stated that he was fired 3 months before this dacoity. And after that he stated that the planning of this conspiracy started 2 months before the incident, my lords. So, my lords, also, my lords, the major had also been convicted under section 396, and in that, one more charge is murder, my lords. Now, my lords, to prove murder, the most important thing is the murder weapon. My lords, the prosecution in the present case, my lords, the prosecution in the present case has failed to prove that the alleged murder weapons belong to the major, my lords. Nowhere in the examination, nowhere in the cross-examination have they been able to prove that Smith & Wesson was with the major and it was his weapon. Also, my lords, if you could please turn to Annex 6 of the fact sheet, my lords, if you could please. Page number 12, my lords. My lords, your has been stated under the last head, bullet comparison and identification, my lords. The grooves on 3 bullets match the standard issue Glock .38 handgun, and the grooves on 1 bullet match Smith & Wesson custom engraved .38 revolver. My lords, the prosecution has failed to prove that which bullet hit which person, my lord. That is also a very important characteristic in proving. First, my lord, they have failed to prove that he had the weapon. Then they have failed to prove that that bullet, which and they have failed to prove that the bullet which hit the injured, that bullet came out from this alleged weapon, my lords. Your counsel would like to state a case law, my lords. K. Chinnaya Swami Reddy versus the state of Andhra Pradesh. It was held that the burden of proof is on the prosecution to show that the alleged murder weapon belongs to the accused, my lords. Further, my lords, counsel would like to place reliance.
The case that we have referred to, how many accused were there?
My lords, there was only one,
One accused, I guess, my lord.
Then because.
Yes, my lord.
But when there are more than one accused,
My lord, the basic principle is...
am I getting it?
Appeal.
Is one accused,
Yes, my lord.
bullet is fired. The prosecution has to establish that the bullet which was found in the body was fired by the accused. But when there are more than one accused,
My lord,
then what will happen?
Indeed, my lords, can I answer? My lords, at this trial, Major Rana is the only accused who is standing, my lords. So, my lords, the prosecution is saying that Major Rana has shot this Vicky and he has shot him dead. Hence, my lords, the burden of proof is on the prosecution to prove that with that weapon, he has shot that man.
In this particular case, so far as the defense is concerned,
Yes, my lord.
admittedly, of course, Major Rana, according to you, was innocent. He didn't fire. But somebody has fired more than one bullet,
Yes, my lord.
and more than one gun has been used.
Maybe, my
Right
lords,
here.
but
That defense story.
the burden does not rest on the defense to prove
Ob-
that, my lord.
Obviously, we have to determine.
Yes, my lord.
That's how it is. The burden of proof rests on them.
Indeed, my lord.
But first, we will have to. Supposing they we find that yes, the prima facie burden has been discharged, or the burden of proof, then the onus will shift to you,
Yes, my lord.
because you assume the responsibility of
But, my
the
lords, in this case,
Hmm.
they have stated that Major Rana had the Smith & Wesson. My lords, nowhere have they proved that he had the Smith & Wesson. Further, my lords, their forensic analysis, medical experts, nowhere have they been able to prove that it was this weapon, it was that bullet that caused the death of the deceased, my lords. My lords, to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, my lords, one more case, my lords, can come to that. Advocacy Chauhan was the state of Uttar Pradesh, my lords. The Supreme Court held that evidence of recovery of the pistol cannot itself prove that the accused had the gun, and it was he who used the weapon for the alleged crime, my lords. Now, my lords, moving on to the statement of Bhaskar Sanyal, my lords. My lords, this entire incident happened on the 1st of January, my lord. Bhaskar Sanyal gave his testimony to the learned magistrate on 4th of February, my lords. Further, my lords, your counsel would like to take an illustration from section 30 of the Evidence Act, my lord. Counsel quotes, A is on trial for murder of C. There is evidence to show that A and B murdered C. And B said A and I have murdered C. This statement may not be taken into consideration by the court against A as B is not being jointly tried, my lords. Now, my lords, in the present case, the Learned Prosecution Council has stated that Bhaskar Sanyal has established every detail of a case beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, my lords, Mr. Bhaskar Sanyal could not state how he came. He could not precisely state where the vault was. My lords, the Learned Prosecution Council has stated this dacoity took place at 11:30, my lords. But Bhaskar Sanyal, in his cross-examination, stated they hit the vault manually at 10:30, my lords. Further, my lords, Bhaskar Sanyal has also failed to state his correct injury, my lord. The medical report says that he was shot here, my lord, on the lateral side of the thigh. And he said he was shot right over here. My lords, these are things that if he cannot remember where the bullet hit him, how could he remember the entire incidents, my lords? Further, my lords, on being questioned, he did not even state that he saw Major Rana shoot him, my lord. He only stated this in his chief examination, my lords. My lords, your counsel would like to place reliance on one more case, if this bench allows me to. My lords, in the case of Chandrakant Desai versus the state of Gujarat, it was held that confession is not evidence and it cannot be used as a foundation for the conviction of an accused, my lords. Also, my lords, due to the investigation.
Who has given the conviction?
What, my lords?
Where is the confusion in this?
My lords, he has stated before the. My lords, Bhaskar Sanyal has stated before the magistrate. He has stated that he committed this act. He wouldn't. No, my lord, in the present case, I am saying that Major Rana was the sole accused. There are other dacoits, but the prosecution hasn't proved the link between Major Rana and the other dacoits, my lord. My lord, this annexure 8, my lord, I'll just read it for you. Bhaskar Sanyal has since turned state's evidence and confessed to the crime before the learned magistrate.
What will it amount to?
No, he's. Also, my lords, the most important thing in this case, the police have not investigated where the loot was, my lord. They have not been able to recover the loot, my lord. In the, yes, my lords, further, my lords, the investigation was filled with loopholes, my lords. The police did not send the guns for fingerprint examination. If they did send it for fingerprint examination, no report has been attached by the prosecution, my lords. In the case of Gurucharan Singh versus State of Punjab, it has been said.
You have taken the evidence.
Yes, my lords.
Everyone was supposed to be wearing the gloves.
My lords, but
Clear.
indeed, my lords. But my lords, Michael Barbosa and Major Rana have not said that they were wearing gloves, my lords.
Everyone was to wear.
My lords, but that is Sonali Gujral's statement. She is the informant in the present matter.
That's a different thing altogether. You did dispute her evidence. That
My lords, but the
that
police.
piece of evidence was never.
Alright. My lords, but the police did not know that they were wearing gloves. They should have sent the guns.
What police knew, we don't know. Right. But the fact of the matter remains, so far the evidence is concerned, it has come that everyone was required to use the glove. And that was for reasons of hygiene.
Yes, my lords, but
And particularly the star witness, Bhaskar Sanyal, and the accused Major Rana.
my lords, nowhere was it said that Bhaskar Sanyal was wearing gloves, my lord.
Everyone.
Everyone, my lord. She said all the employees were.
Why you did not ask him? You could have asked him whether he was wearing the gloves. You didn't know.
Alright, my lords. Further, my lords, they have called expert evidences over here to give their evidence. But my lords, expert evidences are also, the forensic analysis is also supposed to give photographic evidence to this honorable bench, my lord, to prove that whatever he is stating before this honorable bench is correct, my lord. Hence, my lords, in the present case, the prosecution has failed to show that the major was a part of the dacoits. They have failed to show that the major committed the dacoity. They have also failed to show that he was linked with the murder weapon. They have also failed to show that it was he who shot Bhaskar the keys, Rich Gopal, my lords. If my lords, the satisfied counsel would like to move towards the prayer. Much obliged, my lords. In the lights of the facts stated, witnesses examined and cross-examined, and the authorities relied upon by the defense, the counsel for the defense pleads this court to declare that the accused is acquitted of all charges and to give him an honorary disposal, my lord. Much obliged, my lords.
Yes. Tell us one thing.
Yes, my lord.
Two witnesses were examined by the prosecution.
Yes, sir. Prosecution.
Gujarat spoke about the role of Major Rana,
Yes, sir.
accused, and so did the other witness, Bhaskar Sanyal. While cross-examining them, did you dispute the fact
What, my lord?
that their evidence, which they had given against Major Rana, was false or untrue?
My lord, may I answer? My lord,
Will you cross-examine them?
Yes, my lord. Yeah. My lord, Sonali Gujral, in her statement stated, she clearly stated that the security of the walls and the entire ship rests with Michael Barbosa, and the major only oversees everything, my lords. She
No,
said,
she said Operation
yeah,
Security.
operations, and she stated that the major everything is going on fine.
That's all right.
That's what she stated.
Yeah.
She stated that the responsibility of the ship's security rested with Michael Barbosa. He was supposed to take care of the wall and the ships, my lord. She said walls, my lord. Further, my lords, she, in her statement, the police had also stated that we took all the care to make sure that all the arrangements went on
That's
fine.
all right. That's okay.
Yes, my
That
lord.
any owner will do.
Indeed, my lord. My lord, she was at the party. She confessed the vault was just near the party. No evidence was given by the prosecution to show that the major was also present at the party. To show that the major was also near the vault, my lords. Then they have not produced any evidence, a link evidence, my lords. Then they,
No, even Bhaskar Sanyal says about Major.
my lords, Bhaskar Sanyal says that he.
Did you dispute his evidence?
Yes, my lord.
You did not.
Yes, sir.
Now, pardon is your prosecution to establish the case. There is no doubt about that part.
Indeed, my lords.
But the defense, in their procedurally, they have to try to find out why he is deposing falsely. He will say that they give a single suggestion that you are deposing looking firstly for this reasons or that reason. So many
Has been
none of
prosecuted.
you asked a single question.
My lord,
That
our
why
process
what
has
happened
been
first is
doing
or
this
that
because it was filed.
firstly for this reasons or that reason.
As the prosecution cannot take the evidence by surprise, partial, I will not say fully, even defense does not have the right to take the prosecution by surprise in the sense that when you are cross-examining a witness of prosecution who has given incriminating evidence against an accused, and the foundation of your defense has to be laid in that cross-examination. Otherwise, you cannot bring the accused and say that no, I was not there. Supposing I come and say and I saw him shooting, you don't dispute my evidence. Then you bring that accused and he says, no, I was not there. I had already come and gone. My evidence remains undisputed. What will it be?
My lord, can I say something? My lord, both the witnesses of the prosecution were disputing themselves, my lord. Bhaskar said he broke the warrant at 10:30 and she said I broke the warrant at 11:30. So when they are disputing each other, automatically the prosecution cannot speak, my lord. They do not prove anything, my lord.
Every piece of evidence has to be consistent. Whether it is admitted or it is not admitted. Overall, whether they are contradicting each other is a different question altogether. But we are on a piece of evidence.
You don't have all the competent witness like Mr. Babu sir. You examine the witnesses in the light of the persons that they are. So there is some they are wondering over here and there. Seeing that entire thing is wrong. If somebody says that I have shot somebody in my right hand, somebody says that the left hand, that means that the was shot.
Much is like that.
Can the prosecution have one last word? One last clarification?
Your Lordship, the prayer has already been submitted on behalf of the
No
prosecution.
issue with Lordship. No.
Yes, as a matter of procedure, you have a right.
You are right to reply somebody.
Your Lordship, if you see section 118 of the Evidence Act, everyone is a competent witness. However, 133 quotes that an accomplice is a competent witness. This clarifies that the statute makers had the view that the accomplice must be shown as a competent witness. Now, Your Lordship, refer to the precedents, Your Lordship. So, going by the precedents, Your Lordship, if you refer to the memorial, written submissions by the prosecution, Your Lordship, it has been mentioned that an accomplice who is not put on trial is also a competent witness, Your Lordship. In the present case, Your Lordship, Bhaskar Sanyal is the only competent witness, and all the other witnesses are discredited by themselves, Your Lordship. Moreover, Your Lordship, if you go by the defense memorial, page number 4, they have cited the case Gurcharan Singh versus State of Punjab. It is being held in the defense memorial, Your Lordship, that it was urged that it was a duty of the prosecution to prove by expert evidence that it was likely or least possible for the injuries to have been caused with the weapon, in which the manner they have been alleged to have been caused. Likely or at least possible. This possibility has already been shown in front of the Honorable Court, Your Lordship. This is from the defense memorial.
I think, will you hear me? No, take a seat. We are not on the merit of the matter. Whether it ends in acquittal or conviction, that is not a question. Only like to place on record our appreciation in the manner in which both the sides have worked. They made their submissions nicely as required, and we very much appreciate they have very good. And hope that if you put in some more efforts, things will be okay in future. We see coming up, flying colors, time to come. Only thing, two things I would like to mention over here, that in order to be a good lawyer or judge or a legal man, you must first master the facts. You must know the facts fully. Unless you are aware of the facts, the next question of rejecting those facts or turning those facts or turning those facts to your benefit will not arise. The question of law always comes after the evidence. What is the law on the subject? I found that there is some confusion about the applicability of section 306, applicability of section 2430 of the Evidence Act. Then what is the offence? Section 379 theft, it becomes extortion in the 380, 180. Then it becomes robbery. Then it goes to dacoity. But the basic offence is 378 theft. Then in 391 you will find that if at the time of committing a dacoity or if you are going away with the looted goods or stolen property to commit another offence, then it becomes a grievous offence. So 396, in order to be a third section, applies section 396 IPC. The fact that while one persons were taking away the booty, they were taking. There was no, I think that they could have taken a come up with a plea, the security persons, that as the efforts were taking away the property, we had to prevent them. And the killing was done on that, for that purpose. But no such effort was made on the defense side. You should have a very simple plea. Just available. The face of the record, procedure itself, procedure one case was there, that there were these 4 records they were taking away the booty. So, we are not on facts. We appreciate your act. But it is about we can have exercise our brain to that aspect of the matters and find out what can be done in a particular case. But we all appreciate your efforts and progress. Thank you.
I would only join Mr. Agarwal in saying that we appreciate the efforts that we have made. 1 or 2 points which I would like to make, and I am sure all of you know about it. The art of cross-examination or examination in chief is that you must know where you end and what question you must not ask. If a witness has not said anything which is incriminating, there is no need on the part of the defense that you cross-examine and elicit evidence against yourself. It has been done at least on 2 occasions. Ms. Gujaral said, I didn't say anything. Still she was pursued with the question as to what did she see when she arrived. If I didn't see anything, matter is there. But I take the risk of asking, then I may get adverse answers also. I make it clear. So like this, one has to know as to when he must not ask a question and where should his examination or cross-examination. That is one important thing which is necessary with the examination and cross-examination. And the secondly is that particularly this kind of moot court when time is a very important factor. One has to be very careful as to how much time is taking. Because if the presentation of the case, you have one examination you have another. We have this entire scheme of donations. So, ordinarily, yes, it is given the time slot for both sides are same. But having regard to this kind of fact situation, where there could be more than one defense witness, perhaps the defense in this case ought to have been given the time period of time longer than the prosecution. Ordinarily, because definitely the defense will require more time, because after all they have to cross-examine. Examination chief is easier because everything is there, it comes on the record. Cross-examination takes a lot of time. And one more thing which I have noticed, that everybody coming here asks the witness twice, whether it is on the part of the prosecution or the defense, has to give us your introduction and your profile. Once it is given, it is given. It's already there on the record. Please don't waste your time on finding out all that. Yes, if you want to just take away the mind of the witness and for that you are putting the question, matter is different. Thank you very much.
I, for one, I would say, I'm really impressed by the performance given by the participants today in this moot court competition. I've noticed the conducting of the case, the method adopted by you in prosecuting the case and also taking defense and also making submissions. I find all the components of excellent performance is discernible. More than that, I have seen the judges in the audience as well, were all enjoying it, and they will feel the passing of the time. I say, good job, keep it up. Thank you.
Participants, staffs, teachers, and all the guests are required to assemble in the second floor for having lunch. Please assemble after having lunch on 2:30 to have the results and for the biography ceremony.